Dope boy remorse, no cases pinned. I got the rolling flooded, soaking wet, but ain't been swimming. I'm the man now, ain't I? Work a plan now, can't I? I remember when you lame player, hated a player, now the same lame player. They call a player mayor. What you talking that funky, about my face, wearing that monkey. Not that might give you life advice. Get some money, 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 get some money. It's the paper power pastor, burning rubber faster, down a call NASCAR. My solo no sir, I am not a passer. I will not after any of you feeble blitz. I'm the man now, ain't I? Work a plan now, can't I? I remember when you lame player, hated a player, now the same lame player. They call a player mayor. What you talking that funky, about my face, wearing that monkey. Not that might give you life advice. Get some money, get some money, get some money. Get some money, 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 get some money. Get some money, 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 get some money. Go get some money. I say get some money. Go get some money.
My bad, I was on mute. My apologies. I was just talking. My bad. Thanks, sis. Thanks, Alethea. Thanks, Shaba. Appreciate everybody telling me the mic was off. I was actually reading comments. I'm glad y'all couldn't hear what I was saying. I was cussing some of y'all out. I'm only kidding. I just read something. Twin said, I'm single now. I refuse to bow down to BS. I'm good. Take care of my kids and keep it moving. And what I had said to that was, that's what we're supposed to do anyway. That's exactly what we're supposed to do in the first place. You feel me? That's what we're supposed to do. I said, if you take care of your kids will one day take care of you. All right. I know I'm on delay right now. So those that are letting me know we are on mute, I realized it. Thank you for chiming in and letting me know. What was the other comment that I read while I was on mute? My apologies. Let's see here. I need some positive energy, good vibes today. I thought that's what we did over here. I thought that's what we made possible over here. This is not the blame game. You're not winning silly prizes for silly blame game, opinions and points of views and stuff like that. That's not what we do here. That's why we're not the number one watch show. I tell you what, if I was over here talking about Trump all day and how this and and oh, the world is on fire on half and it's on its way over to get us. It's about the other half of the world about to be on fire. People will be over here tuned in, loving to hear the horrible energy. You know, they just love it. I mean, people thrive off of negativity. That's why I kind of come in angry sometimes, or at least I not pretend to be angry, but I give you that angry man approach. I'll come in like I'm upset about something when in fact I'm really just trying to make a point. When you're angry, people tend to listen. As long as you're saying, if they think you upset or mad, they'll cut. They may not cuddle you. They may not care if you're right or wrong, but they will listen because they want to know your point of view and they'll argue with you if you're wrong. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. But guess what they did? They heard me. They heard me. They heard me. That's all I want you to do. I just need you to hear me. You don't have to believe me. You don't even have to trust me. Just hear me. If you hear me, you give me a chance. If I fail in that chance, I can't be mad at anyone. Remember, I just said this on Friday. You have people that come in here. Yeah, I got to remind you sometimes because I have this thing about, letting people know that I know how they really moving. But like Friday, I mentioned something about how people actually say things to, and I hope Ron Dula is here today, and I hope he hears this. I don't know. Ron, if you hear, just let me know some kind of way. Send it to telepathy. Let me know some kind of way that you're here today. Once again, it happened. I have to let you know that I see things, I hear things, sometimes I feel things. Ron put a post on his page, and I don't know what Ron is doing. No offense to Ron. Ron can do whatever he wants to do. We all have social media and we all can do whatever we want to do. But Ron put a post out or something, I believe, on Facebook. And Ron videotaped or screenshot a conversation about somebody talking about somebody else and this and this and this and that. And in that video, I have to admit, I didn't quite, I don't know what made me listen, because maybe he did a really good job at the heading and saying like, like, this is crazy when a man talk about a man. And I'm like, I don't know if I was tagged in this. I don't even know how it got to my page, but nevertheless, I seen it. And it was someone talking about, I believe, twin. I'm not even interested in that stuff. But now let me tell you what I'm interested in. He videotaped, he screenshot the conversation. And then just like on our platform, there are comments. These comments happen to be screenshot as well. And in the screenshot, I see someone says, Wyatt, I believe he said, it either said my full name, Randall Wyatt. Whoever it was not a friend of mine because it didn't tag. Okay, but it says something to the nature of, and Ron, I don't even know you know this because you was on another mission. You were on a whole nother mission. And sometimes your missions, get something proven that you want to prove, but sometimes your missions may have stories for other people to tell or find some truth in some of the things that they need truth in. But anyway, nevertheless, I see in the comment section, someone said, and it was obviously someone that's not a friend of mine, but that's someone that watches the program. They said in the screenshot, Wyatt has twin brainwashed. Now, I don't know what y'all were talking about. I have no idea. It may have been that same day, but it was something somebody brought up twin's daughter who had passed away. And see, this is what what I don't understand is no matter how you differ in politics, how you differ, no matter how your opinions stand different, when you bring up people's personal traumas, that's a fine line with me. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Emmanuel, my brother, got upset because somebody reached out to his wife about some of their man business? It's on that same level. It's on that same level of getting too personal, in people's stuff. But we got to get away from this not loving and not liking one another because we have a difference of opinion. We got to stop doing that, because it's taking off, it's distracting, it doesn't solve any problems. It make people look at each other sideways, and meanwhile it's almost like three-card Molly. Somebody's causing a distraction so you'll take your eye off of the ball, so when you get to pick, you pick the wrong card and your money is lost. And we got to get away from that, man. We got to get away from, I challenge I challenge, what was his name? Damn, I wish Ron was here. Walter something. Walter, I challenge you, brother, if you even listen, and if you, I don't even know you, bro. I challenge anybody that says that I brainwash anybody. I challenge you, not challenge, but I offer a conversation to you. I offer a conversation to see if how I say things matches the way someone else may say it, or if their thoughts match my thoughts. Do they say it like I say it? Do they present the case like I present the case? I challenge anyone to have a conversation about anything that you dispute about what I say. See, until you can come in and dispute what I say with some type of facts, I'm going to continue to do what I do. Thank you, Lamont. I think that is the name, and I don't even know who that is, and that's fine. Never seen that name in the chat here. Never had him call and give an opinion. Never had him call or listen and challenge anything I've ever said. So why would that person talk about us? Because it's not me, it's us. Why would someone talk about me as if I have someone brain? Make it make sense. When just have a conversation with me. Have a conversation with me and let's see if you still feel the way you feel. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is right to you. It's certainly right to me. I wouldn't be talking about it. I wouldn't hold a position on it. But I've been telling y'all since the beginning of time, the beginning of Wyatt Live, I am not here to change anyone's mind. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm not here to all I do is put the information out there. And you take what you want to take from it. Now, I'm better understanding at people differences of opinion and thoughts lead to us to not want to change our mind. I understand that more than anything. What you're never going to get me to do is talk bad about somebody because they think different of me, like think different of my thoughts, think different of my concepts and all that. But here's what I'd like to challenge some of the people who may think different. The way I think been working out pretty good for me. The way that I do things and the way that I present these situations, they work out pretty good for me. I'm from everywhere that y'all be talking about fucked up, excuse my language. I've been through all the little being out on the corner, block boy. I didn't done all that. I didn't had the same opportunity to face all the obstacles that everybody else then faced. I'm not the only one. I can give you 10 of me from where we from. Me, Tico, Ronnie, Johnny, we ain't never been to the penitentiary. We all had mamas, grandmamas, and our uncles. We all had what we have in our life. You know what I'm saying? We cut from the same cloth. And we don't blame people. And we understand to seize opportunity. I was able to seize a little bit more opportunity than some of them. Some of them was able to seize more opportunity in certain fields than I was. But what we not going to do is sit back and talk about the things that held us and stopped us from doing something when they really didn't. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to blame something else. Listen, here go my sister, Lisa Rogers. I know she married. I ain't trying to do that with your husband, sis. I mean, you always gonna be baby Lisa to me. We from the same bricks. You know what I'm saying? We graduated. All right, listen, y'all. She'll know what I'm talking about. Hear me out. We graduated from the same school. Lisa Rogers and I. Mama Birch, don't everybody look. We all graduated from UCLA. You feel me, Lisa? We all graduated from UC. If you from down the way, damn it. If you survived it, you're a survivor of UCLA. We all went to UCLA, damn it. The University of Clark Land and Armory. You feel me? Those was some hell of some choices that we had to make in life. You feel me? We all could have been to the penitentiary. We all could have been doing the things that y'all call today. Oh, this is them putting this stuff in us, and we got to do this and we do that. Now, Lisa then raised boys and used basketball and football to finance college for her kids. And we all from the same place. It's a beautiful thing. It's an unbelievable, beautiful thing. But see, you got some people that want you to believe that those obstacles are just mandatory for us. Like it's just something that it's like that's our life and that's just the bucket we in, damn it. And that's where we always gonna be. And the reason why people are the way they are is because that's the way it's supposed to be. And it's not. You are a victim of your circumstances. We all are. But victims rise. Victims get up and say, hey, I'm now going to be the victor. We're going to win. I didn't got kicked, beat down before. I didn't lost basketball games. Everything that I've ever tried in life, I failed once or twice at. Everything. I ain't never been a winner on day one. Never. I ain't even went to a damn carnival and threw a ping pong ball in a fish bowl and won the first time. I ain't never done that. It always took multiple chances, multiple times to do it before you actually win. And I'm so sick and tired of people talking about shit. They so hypocritical. They so hypocritical when they get to talking about how somebody did. Now, let me just say one thing before I go to the phone lines, and then I'll get to what I'm going to talk about, I promise. Two things that's been on my mind that I just wanted to let I wanted to let the scab, I wanted the wound to scab up a little bit. The shooting in Minnesota is still a fresh wound. But now let me say one thing about the Venezuelan capture of their so-called dictators / president. Number one, he's not the president. Okay. You're not a president of a country if you lose an election and you use the military and you got to understand the drug game, the cartels run Venezuela. They run that country. Okay. So it's not like the government is really in place to make the real decisions. So his ties to the government there are all cartel driven. So he is the chosen one for the cartel. The cartels could move him out as well. This isn't the political thing that I really want to talk about with Venezuela. What I want to tell y'all about Venezuela is this. There is no way in hell the United States of America could have went in and got a president from a foreign land, another country like Venezuela. They could not have gone in and did that with 150 airplanes and helicopters and boots on the ground. And all. They could not have done without any casualties. They could have not done that, folks. No one said this out loud. I'm going to tell you. They could have not, they could not do that without the assistance of Venezuela themselves. Now, if you've heard a platform tell you that, put it in the screen. Put it in the screen where you heard somebody tell you that. All I'm telling you is military people are willing to die for their country and willing to die for their leaders. And they're willing, this thing had been planned out for months, 7 to 8 months. They even had a structure of the facilities made over in Kentucky. This was a CIA raid, pretty much scheduled, planned by CIA. Okay. They have ops, intel, all of that in Venezuela. You cannot tell me that they landed all those damn helicopters right on the platform down there, and no one got shot, no one died, and drug a president. I'm gonna call him a president. He's not really a president. I just wanted to get this off my head. You can't drag a president out of a country without any casualties. I put this on my mama. There's no way in hell the United States of America could have went and done we could say they're the greatest army or military in the world, but they would not have been able to accomplish that without the assistance of Venezuelan themselves. They had to have a high up person next to that man who gave him up, who knew what he ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, where he was going to be at what time, what book he read at night, when he was going to put that dusty ass Nike sweatsuit on. They knew exactly everything they needed to know, and that comes from the inside. So what that tells me is there's people there that didn't want him there. Like snitches, narcs, people that work for the government there. They didn't want him there. Now, y'all can figure out all this other shit and try to make it about some dictator or whatever you want to say bad about the USA and all that. Say what you want to say. There's people screaming and hollering. There's over 200 captured war prisoners that have now been freed because this dictator was doing some crazy shit. And the thing that you say is America's trying to steal their oil and they want to take over that country. Well, you might want to know the history of that country and the importance of the oil and where they actually sat and who they were doing so much illegal business with before you start talking about us taking over that country is just a bad thing. I'm sorry, I got to say what I got to say. But if you look at how many Venezuelans are thrilled and happy about what happened, you might want to sit this one out. And this might not be the only one you want to sit out. There's a few that y'all might, we really need to sit back in the back seat. Some of y'all need a car seat back there. But most of us need to just sit in the back seat and watch them cook with fish grease, because you don't get it. Number one, you got to know how money move in the country. You can make the money move as bad as you want it to be if you want. How? Because I know some of you think that being rich and having money is a bad thing until you get it. All right. Once you get it, you'll have a different perspective because you'll understand what's going on. But that all being said, and I know I stepped on a couple toes, that all the important information I just gave you, somebody going to find just that information, that little bit of shit I just said, it's going to be about what I just said versus the 10 minutes I've been talking. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm used to it. All I'm saying to you is this. Sometimes you got to fall back. And when things are over our head, including mine, I think some things are over my head. I don't understand why certain things are happening. But what I don't do is I never fall for the first TikTok. I never fall for the first video. I never fall for the first video. It has the first narrative of whatever they want you to think. Okay. And I'm never falling for the first video. So whatever the first video, in most cases, whatever the first video talking about, I'm not saying it's not true. Chances are it's some propaganda. It's some shit that somebody then made up and they want you to follow. They want you to be part of. They want you to think of it the way that they just put it out. That's usually how it works. Lamont Jones says Venezuelan is dealing with China selling them oil. China wouldn't go for that. Yeah, Venezuela was selling dirty oil to a lot of people. And they were only utilizing 30% of the oil. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, first, before we get to talking about what Venezuela doing today, y'all, and what they did last week and last year and whatever, go learn your history about the oil wells and how the oil wells were actually made in Venezuela. And then come back and talk about why America shouldn't be doing or why they doing what they doing. Go find out the history of Venezuela's oil and who built that infrastructure and how Venezuelan played them once they became a dictatorship. Go back and learn that history before you start calling somebody whatever you want to call them. Go get that information first, and then we'll go from there. All right, is that fair? But I just wanted to get this off my chest. I didn't want to say it the day of. I didn't want to say it too early. The point of me bringing this up was simply this. There's no way in hell Venezuelans didn't give up that dictator guy. Miranda, they set him up. There's no way in hell a chopper wouldn't have caught a rocket. A U.S. troop would have got shot. There's no way in hell they would have accomplished that. They would have got it done. But there's no way in hell we wouldn't have had some casualties. There's no way in hell. That was an inside job with the CIA and the Venezuelan people, government, or whoever. That's what it was. Okay? And you'll see that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm not going to talk about it long, I'm just going to bring it up. Maybe I'll talk about it after the phone call, is the lady in Minnesota. The lady that if she didn't have something to do with the agenda that y'all want to propaganda, have this propaganda story on and follow the lead of your leaders and shit like that, any other day, this lady would have been a Karen in the middle of the street causing problems, talking about some shit she ain't got no business talking about, and she should be at home taking care of her kids, and she's not. If this was a white lady who wasn't on the argument side of whatever you arguing about, this lady would be called a Karen. This lady would be called, you all would be saying, well, she should have been at home taking care of her business in the first place. She should have this, she should have that. She ain't had no business in the middle of the street. Let me tell you, like I told you before, my mama always taught me don't play in the street and certainly don't play with the police. Now, if that sounds insensitive to you with the cheerleaders, come on. Come on, you can boo me all you want to. But here's the thing. You didn't pay to be here. You didn't buy a ticket, and it's free to leave. You know what I'm saying? It was free to get here, and it's free to exit. But it's the truth. Y'all been talking about these white women every day. Y'all talk about some white lady that's in the middle of the street screaming and hollering at the top of her lungs about what's right and what's wrong. And you got one that's finally on your side, and now you got sympathy for her. But all the rest of them, they Karens and they get in the way and listen to her. Listen, all that old shit. You didn't have that much sympathy for the little girl up in Columbus, Ohio that got shot by the police in the front window. When she gassed it, it was justified. Everybody fell back. Oh, shit, her pregnant ass in there stealing alcohol anyway. Okay, you can see what she did wrong, but you can't see what this woman did wrong? Yeah, I ain't on y'all. And I'll debate anybody. I'll go get your best. I'll debate anybody you got on this issue because we done seen it how many times? You better go get somebody that don't talk that power to the people shit when we debate this one. Because what that person will be finding themselves doing is debating for some white lady that's just that this type of shit never happens to. See, them the same folks that say, see, they only do that to us. If this was a white woman, she would have never got shot like that. They only do that to black people. Black people, they always shooting unarmed black people. They don't shoot white people down like that. Well, remember at the beginning of Wyatt Live when I used to tell y'all, yeah, they do. They shoot white people too. They do. They shoot white people. I always tell you, there's more white people in jail. So explain to me how they treat us any different when it comes down to pulling that trigger. Oh, I know. You can always find a video where they talk a white boy down with a slingshot. He got a gun. They talk him down as if every black dude on the street that threatens the police with a gun gets shot. And y'all know that's not true. You know, now the algorithms and DL Hughley and all Martin Lawrence and all, what's his name? Roland Martin and all them might want you to believe that, but it's simply not true. If it was true, it would be well over 200 deaths a year of black men with guns. It would be well over that. But y'all, you know what? Here's the thing, man. This is the blessings and the curse of the internet. Because the internet can teach you right, but it don't teach you what's right from wrong. It don't teach you that some of that right is really wrong. And I just, hey, Power to the people. You know, power to the people that actually understand and don't get caught up in the spider webs of this nonsense. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, as long as you're caught up in the spider webs of this nonsense, you'll never get where you're going. You're going to continue to be up in this web of nonsense. Nonsense. And I don't understand the same people who out here talking about what that lady didn't deserve. It's exactly what you say that lady deserved when she was talking that other shit. She's doing nothing. She's not doing anything different than all your so-called Karens was doing. I know. Last but not least, before I go to the phone lines, I put a post out. Once again, here's the thing. No traction. Just my regular hello, hey, how Wyatt type of thing. See, when I hit a not necessarily a nerve, but for people who always talk that we this and we that and this and this and that to us and this and this and that, you would think that they would acknowledge a post that says something so positive. But of course not, because sometimes positivity leads to accountability, and accountability leads to the real chapter that you need to read in order to be free of that spider web. Here's what I'm talking about. I put a post out 1 day ago on Facebook, on social media, and it says, the best thing you can do for your community is take care of your household. If you know, you know. You know what? No traction. Your superheroes and your popular dudes in town will say something really ridiculous. I'm not going to judge. I shouldn't say ridiculous. I should just say they'll say something in the forms of Donald Trump or whatever, and it'll have 500 engagements, 500 likes, 200 hearts, damn near 1,000 engagements because of some shit you just heard against Donald Trump a day or two ago again. Don't y'all get tired of that? Don't you think a lot of the shit that happens in our community could be avoided if we pay attention to the things that's happening in our community? Don't you think that it's a reason why they want you to pay attention to all the bullshit? I mean, it don't make sense to you. If it don't make sense to you, then you just caught up in the spider web and it's all good. We just got to put it out. Let me go to the phone lines, man. I'm not going to get into that type of shit right now. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, Wyatt?
Twin, what's good with you, brother?
I can't call. Yeah, I saw the post. Ron sent it to me and everything.
Yeah. I forgot to say that. Yeah.
Ron sent it to me, and you know, I speak my mind and what's on my heart. People might say I'm disrespectful, all because you stand there. I don't care if you're the president or whoever you is. If I got something to say and you out your body and Twin man is concerned about certain situations and everything, and I'm for the kids, don't worry about me. Go troll somewhere else. And no, you not putting no fear. You ain't hyping my head up to say nothing. I don't know why they glaze on you so much about you pumping my head. No, man.
Well, that's
100. You solid. If you solid, I'll mess with you. You not solid. You not talking about. I'm not gonna mess with you, fool.
Twin, I'm gonna be. Can I be honest with you? Can we have a?
Yeah.
Can we
go ahead, fam. Go ahead.
Here's why that is done. Okay. Sometimes you have to channel your people have to channel other people. They have to use you as the reflection of me, because if you hear it from Twin who's upset, you're gonna say it a certain way and it's not gonna make any sense to them. You sound kind of crazy to them. Okay, I'm just being honest. You sound crazy to them. So when they use you and they try to use you as a mirror of me, that's to keep me from being in their ear. They don't want to listen to me. They don't want to hear what I have to say, brother, because it would be disruptive. It would be total chaos. Let me give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about, so it'll make some sense to people that may not understand where I'm coming from. I had a conversation on the program last week. It was Thursday or Friday, and I was talking about we need certain people in our neighborhoods in the city of Cincinnati so you could determine certain things. And I said we needed a city manager. Well, some people tagged some people who they thought was a good idea for that program. Okay. Or maybe this would be a good candidate. Here's the thing. You tag the person because you knew they would come. I mean, sometimes people used to tag me to the radio and I just wouldn't fill in. I wouldn't go to it. I know what it is. I don't know what they're talking about, but I know it's something that's probably something that I would want to engage in. So I kind of stopped in, hitting the tab to go over, shift over. That all being said, twin, they tag someone to come into the show. That person is not going to engage in this platform because they know that I talk about how that type of person get their money too. I'm not saying they're a bad person. I'm saying that why would you, and I respect when people don't watch the program because, I would rather somebody just not come and keep their mouth shut about me or not even pay attention to what we're doing over here than I respect that. Then what I'm saying? I respect that. I don't talk about, there's other shows that come on at the same time this will come on. I say absolutely nothing about it because I don't know anything about it. So why would I, I'm not going to criticize it. I'm not going to talk about what they talk about. I'm not going to, engage in it at all. That being said, the reason why some people don't listen is because they know what I'm saying could fuck their money up. Okay. Right. And if I'm going to talk about programs and this stuff and this and that, and it's not fueling their projects, or if it's not helping them, why would you be here? That's why I have no problem telling people to leave, because if I'm not suiting a purpose, if I'm not doing something for you in your life, if I'm not helping you make a different decision or a better decision, or maybe you make the same decision, but you thought about the decision, then I don't want you here. I'm not here just to be talking. I'm here to serve a purpose. And there's some people that cannot engage in that purpose because it's totally against what they do. And I understand that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it at all.
Right. So I said something because I was concerned about the kids. I said y'all can allocate some millions for a slumlord.
What you talking about?
But y'all can't allocate for this March 26th stay in a park for the homeless kids and everything. That's what my
What you talking about, twin? I'm sorry.
I know the superintendent came on the radio today. And then my concern is this: y'all can talk about allocate money for the, the slumlords and everything else, giving them a couple of million, but y'all can't talk about how these kids go be shared. Oh, that's not our concern and all that. But y'all show this concern about when they being late and everything else.
Yeah,
Come on, it don't make sense to me, man. And let me tell you this, why? And then y'all throw shades at me when I want to ask a concerning question about the kid. But every day y'all want to talk about, well, Trump this, and he did this, and who gives a damn about Minnesota? Let me tell you this, and since I let my business out like that, and I'm gonna open my business up to you, I don't give a fuck who say something. Forgive me, look, I'm about to ride or die with this. My concern is this: twin love my kids to death. I'd do whatever, take a bullet for my kids if it's beneficial or what they did or whatever the cause of and stuff. But let me tell you this: I love hard. Any woman I be with or whatever, I love hard, man. But to play me like a Vic and everything, and you look at me, I don't care. Look me up right now. I got a pending case all because of a fucking argument. I had to fucking damn revise my son last night. He bleaching all this shit. He got a hold to because of the stupidity of his brother. And you want to play me like a Vic, bitch? Get the fuck on, man. I could care less.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm pissed off about the situation, man. Okay. And people don't know what the hell going on in my life. I don't give a fuck about no damn Trump or nobody else, man. I got other things. I worry about home first. What I got now, even though I'm concerned about people on the street, but still got to take care of home, like you say, man. I can care less about things right now, what I'm going through, and what people saying, man. Kick rocks, man. So yeah, man, that's what I got going on. But I talk to my twin and he was like, man, I told you, me, Gene always be hard headed. I'm a hard headed nigga, but when the shit hit the fan and everything, and it's too late. And when my brother heard and he know what's going on, He like, man, I told you, and I gotta like, man, and stuff. Cause he know when I'm hurting, he hurt. He feeling my pain. He like, man, what you do? I said, what? He said, what's wrong? I said, nothing. He said, something wrong. Tell me, nigga, before I find out. And then, somebody told him, and he said, I told your ass, man. I told you. After your daughter death, leave that shit alone. And then I said, man, I know. I'm hurt, but I get over it,
Twin,
man.
is there
I'm not
anything I
about
can
to.
do to help you in this situation, bro? It sounds to me like you got into a dispute. It sounds to me that you have something.
I don't never hear no woman, man. I told you, I walk away, man. I ain't gonna argue none of that. And just for you lied on me saying stupid shit. No. Just because I chastised your kids and told them how the fuck I feel. No. And you lied on me because of that. But you not worried about my son fucking getting bleached up. Yeah, okay, stand on it. Okay. So, man, I'm like, man, yeah, I open up. I don't give a fuck. I open up about my business, man, because, it is what it is. Mama, me move on, but I'm not going back there. No, I'm cool, man. Anytime you get the police involved with,
hold on, I gotta get on.
No,
I gotta get on track here, twin. Just because you kind of, I feel pain. I hear pain a little bit, but let me say this to you. I got to get on track of what you were talking about. Brenda Early said this. Let me say this first before I say something to Brenda Early. Dominique, what's up, sis? I haven't seen you in a while. Love. I haven't seen Dominique in a long time, so I just wanted to give her a shout out. That's sis, and she's really good people. So I just wanted to say what's up to her. Brenda Early said this, twin. So just kind of listen, because you said something about superintendent. I'm not quite sure what went on, what was going on. She said the superintendent of public schools has nothing to do with the slumlords in Cincinnati. I agree with that. She says, why ask her about that? Is that what you did?
Let me tell you this, man. Okay. School board asked for money and whatever. Superintendent asked for money for this and all that, right? My concern is this. If the city manager, whoever else, y'all ain't cahoots together, so I don't care what y'all say. It won't hurt like, hey, manager, hey, can you allocate this money for our school? Because is it possible you can help us? Or however y'all ask the governor, whoever. Why is y'all not allocating money to go for these homeless shelters? Put them in a trailer or something.
Hold on.
They got to sit.
Let me just say this to you, because this is what really makes people look. They don't understand you. I'm gonna say this, and it's not a backhand.
I hope you understand me.
I do, but
if I didn't deliver it right, just give it to. But I'm confused on this situation.
No,
but help me out in the audience, because I'm like, like if they doing it, I don't really know, but I'm kind of concerned. Like, what if all this money? Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna give you the best breakdown that I possibly can.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
The school does not have anything to do with housing. They don't have anything to do with where these children eat. Where other than when they're at the school premise, you know what I'm saying? They don't have anything to do where these kids are housed or any of that. That's not in their budget. They get a budget each year, XYZ amount of money, and they have to work that budget out to get books, pay teachers. Their budget is to run the business of schooling, education. It's not housing. It's none of that. So here's what a lot of people don't understand, but I need you to hear this because it'll play a pivotal role in you having a better position in your argument, because your argument is falling on deaf ears because people know you don't know the allocation of the money. Okay, so you can't look at them and say, why don't they use some of the school money to house these kids and put them in trailers or whatever source you said. You can't do that because they understand, the people understand that that's not how the funds are allocated. They don't, it's not in the budget to house kids. Now you can talk about, why don't you put more of the budget towards after school programs within the school, for eating at not, maybe a after school dinner program or something, whatever the school can facilitate for children while they're at school, put it in the budget to do something like that. Now, that's just an idea that I just thought of. But I'm just saying, bro, you have to understand processes before you're angry at just everything not working the way it should work in your eyes. Because that's not, you're always going to be mad if that's the case. You feel what I'm saying to you, bro? So look,
okay, you broke it down. I understand now that I see, but I didn't know. But I'm thinking all the money we donate or give to as a school district, we pay school tax and all that. Can you dip in that funds like, hey man, come together like, and you got people, you got people staying on the lot, why on the school lot? That's homeless. They gotta come in there, trade a building, and take a shower, and then get a hot meal and leave back out. Why? How they go set up? Okay, how they go set up to do schoolwork? Why on the dashboard of the car?
well,
How's that? You got to think about that. Why?
those are two
And then you got to
separate
think about, man, it's cold, mama, and so I can't really write to do my homework. How about that? Do they got an inside network or some type of social gather that you can sit down, computer and stuff, and get your education like that? Come on, you got to think, man. That God forbid, like I said, come March, why? That none of these kids don't die in that car, man. That's my concern.
Let me say
I'm not can care less about anything else, but my concern and stuff as a parent, whatever, and a father and shit. I'm concerned about them kids, man, getting their education, whatever. Instead of sleeping on the couch or bedroom, sitting in your own room, just not going in there and taking a shower with somebody else. That's my concern, but I didn't know. Now that you open my eyes to see, now that I know, I didn't understand all that, Wyatt.
Yeah, well,
but now I understand. But don't shame me, call me stupid, uneducated. Man.
Here's the thing. I have to admit, that's what people do, twin. When people jump off edges,
I'm a grown ass man, man. You talk to me as a grown person. Don't talk as no kid. Something that's why a closed mouth won't get fed. That's why I ask shit. That's why I came on here.
Twin, let me ask you something, and I know you're gonna think that I'm breaking it down dummy style.
Go ahead, man. It's your show.
Let me ask you something. If you and a young lady are in a car and she's driving, and you're sitting in the passenger side, and she don't understand, y'all arguing, okay? I don't know what about, doesn't matter. Y'all arguing, and she says to you, "I didn't had enough of your shit. I can't do this anymore with you. I'm done with you." And y'all driving, and she just drive the car off the cliff to kill you. But then she kills herself in the attempt to kill you. What would everybody call her? They'd call her dumb and stupid as hell, wouldn't they? Yeah. Sometimes you drive the car off the cliff, and they're only matching your actions, and they're using the words, "That's dumb, that's stupid as hell." Yeah. That's why you hear them saying that. I don't really think that people want to call you dumb, stupid, and all that shit. I think we as Black folks are a little bit more compassionate amongst each other, right? We just kind of fun and game and play with it like that. Call each other Zeeks and shit like that.
I don't play like that.
I know, bro, but not everybody has the best way. I'm bad at that. I don't have the best way of describing everyone. Okay. Sometimes I say some things that might be a little offensive and things of that nature as well. But you have to admit, if you are screaming and hollering and running off the edge and running off the cliff and not understanding a process, people will say that that's a dumb tactic. Like, why would you drive off the cliff? You killed yourself in order to kill that person next to you. And
but if you understand the get along gang and all that, just because I don't agree with y'all, gotta be stupid and Trump to mega whatever. No, it don't work. Whenever you niggas stop being like this,
not everybody,
y'all some weirdos.
Not everybody does that. Okay, not even those that are totally against Trump. They not everybody. It only takes. See, you can't let one person in a room be the spokesperson.
I see it on other platforms and stuff.
No, I know. I know, bro. What I'm saying to you is, how many times do you hear a new voice? And I don't know. I'm just asking you. Is it a handful of people that say the same thing about you? Or is it a new voice every day? A new person coming in every day?
It'd be people say it every day. Then here comes somebody out of God knows where, the world, country, or whatever. And I'm like, who is this person?
Right. And I understand that frustration right there. Because that's what I understand that frustration, because it's almost like anything else, folks. If you sit in a classroom long enough, if you sit anywhere long enough, and the people, it's a culture thing. If you sit in any city long enough, and certain killings or certain things happen on a regular basis, It's almost like how so much crime happens and the gang violence happens in Chicago. It's almost we become immune to how crazy and how chaotic it is, and we think it's part of the culture, and we see it as being normal. So now you're in an environment where when people call you crazy nuts and you don't know what you're talking about and blah blah blah, it becomes a normal thing for people to say. So what happens is when new faces and new people come in, twin, they hear that talk and they become part of that. You know, they believe the talk because it's the common talk. So what you got to do, bro, is just relax. Don't look. I think sometimes you care more about what people say versus them saying it and caring about what they even talking about. I don't think they care what they say. I mean, if you understand what I'm saying.
No, you care. I don't care, but when you start being disrespectful,
I care.
Yang stuff, man, come on, man. And not just me, it be other people. Like you call that person stupid or you racist or you white this person. Man, come on, man. We grown in here. The chat can be fun sometimes, but to be disrespectful, call somebody stupid and uneducated because you don't agree. Like on here.
Well, let me just say this.
Say things on here like that, man.
Let me say this out of respect for people that call in and do all that stuff. I don't have that many callers here, so I'll just reference this to some of the callers on the radio. All right. I quite frankly don't believe that everybody who listens to the radio buy into everybody that calls in every day. Like, I don't think they believe what that person believes, like what they say every day. So I think they just part of the conversation, and then they'll take a break, or they may just tune this person out, even though they talking what they think is positive to the people. I think that most people will take whatever that person say with a grain of salt and just move on to the next situation. So just because it's being heard doesn't necessarily mean that it's being taken in by everyone and everybody believes it. All right. So let that be part of the lesson here as well. I had to learn that the hard way as well. What I learned is this, because there's a guy on there that always talk about, you know, things. And I haven't heard, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I will say this. When this is the same person that said some other stuff about Africa and blah, blah, blah. But they also said that, and there's people that believe this. They say that the people who complain the most about the politics are the people that don't vote. Now, I disagree with that. I disagree. I totally disagree. I think everybody has the right to complain about politics or cheer politics.
So you said the people that don't vote always complain.
That's not what I said. That's what he said. And then they agree with the host and some other people agree with that. I think I beg to differ on that. I think that people who don't vote, there's a sprinkle of people who don't vote, and they're giving.
So do you got a problem when people don't vote?
Well,
do you?
I have a problem with people who say that they vote don't matter. Okay, because I believe that the votes do matter. I know that cheating happens, okay, but I also know that how I know votes matter and how I know that votes actually do matter is because every place is not the same. All right, downtown Cincinnati is not the same as downtown Mason. Downtown Mason is structured that way because of how they vote. Okay, downtown Cincinnati is structured the way it is because of how they're voting. You'll see a little bit of difference between the people that's coming from the outskirts of the city moving into the downtown area, and you see that they're coming to council meetings and they're complaining about some of the things that we've been complaining about for years, but they get a little bit more traction when they argue about it, like the lady who lost her husband. See what the white lady. There's other things that show you that voting impacts where you live and how your surroundings and how your community is raising the community. It does. So when people say that voting don't matter, I disagree with that. But here's what I disagree the most with people. I disagree when people say that the people who complain the most are those that don't vote. I don't agree with that. I think the people who complain the most are the ones who actually do vote. Okay, because they're the more passionate about what they're getting. They took the time to go on Tuesday and vote. They talk about it on radio. They talk about it on podcasts. They're more interested. They're engaged on the TV shows like CNN and Fox and MSNBC. Those are the demographic. That is the people. That's why you only have a 24.5% turnout at the voting booth. Those are the ones that vote. The ones that don't vote, you know why? Let me prove my point to some people real fast, Twin, if you don't mind. All right. I know you called in. I'm gonna give you the floor. I heard them say things like the people out in Winton Terrace just don't vote. Okay, that might be true, right? I mean, I don't think that any of us will disagree that that's probably a fact. Some do, but the majority don't, right? It's been proven. But how many people do you hear on the radio, or who do you hear with bullhorns and out here complaining about what they're getting for their vote? How many of them do you hear out here complaining about politics? So no, I disagree that I think the people who make the most noise about politics and voting and all that are actual voters, not those that don't vote. And you're gonna have some that come on and talk and say, "No, I don't vote because my vote don't count," and blah 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 blah. And yeah, they may have an opinion, but that's one out of probably 200 people that's like that. See what I'm saying? So they're not they're such a minimum point of view. And you could just tell. But go ahead, Twin, finish this out.
Yeah, that's my concern and everything. Like you just said, I mean, some people vote in winter, some people don't, man. I mean, I know I seen a big turnout when Obama was president. I did see that at the polls in winter. Them cars were lined up and everything else.
Probably
It
so.
just to me, it's just your message. It's being transparent, and Trump put people on game, man. This how they treat this is what y'all get and everything. And people like Chicago, Flip Red, they came together like everybody. That's a democratic state and city and all. And people,
well, not all of Illinois is
not
Democrat.
hell no. Once you get down south, no. FAM, Carbondale, all that, no. Them rednecks, boy, they're Republican. But anyway, Chicago is mainly Democrats, and so people realizing what the properties getting taxes going up and everything else. People waking up, man. We tired of this. You give your money to the immigrants, and what's the thanks we get out of it? We tried to buy them old closed down buildings and stuff, but y'all gave them to the immigrants and built them up. And people realizing, like, man, they ain't for us. And people, they waking up, why? Regardless of here, Cincinnati, Columbus, somewhere, they waking people tired, man.
Here's the thing. I agree with that. But because you're waking up to your political party telling you things that they're not getting done does not mean you have to leave your political party. What it means to me is your political party owes down. So if black folks have a problem with how Democrats are moving in Chicago, you don't necessarily have to stop being a Democrat. You just have to ask your Democratic leadership to be more in tune to what you all need in this city. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with being a Democrat.
They used to be like that when I was a shorty. Man, Democrats were strong. Man, let me tell you something, man. When I was growing up, grandma and them time, man, Democrat, whatever they want, hey, man, we need this movement. We need this. Even the growth and development and everything, gangsters, all that. Hey, we need this. You want our election? Hey, give us this. And they gave it to you. You ain't getting our votes or nothing unless we get what we want to. So you scratch your back, I'll scratch my back. I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back type situation. So that's how it used to be. But now, man, every man for himself. It's a get along, gatekeepers and all that now. I don't like him. Oh, and he can't join us. Who is he? No. That's the type of mentality they have today. And stuff. But I love grandma and them growing up when grandma and them voted and all that. Because I was a shorty when my mama voted. I said, what is that? I didn't know nothing about it. I mean, they talked a little bit about it in school. But when my mama, I went there with her and she said I voted and I said, okay, ma. And then after that, my mom was a church, but she really did like put it in my mind, twin, vote. No, she put that God-fearing, start preaching to me in my mind. And
but twin,
twin, go ahead, man.
I have to tell you this. Both sides do that. Both sides, Democrats and Republicans, both are part of this thing. They put who they want in place based on influence, based on fundraising abilities. They both do that. So it's not like one is better than the other when it comes to that.
So let's switch this up real quick. I'm gonna close it out because somebody online but Venezuela. Hey, you said something earlier that he just didn't go down by himself. It took an army. Which what it brought to my mind is that they did the same thing with Saddam Hussein and Bin Laden. They just couldn't go in there and just, he right here. he has an informant and all of his own people to tell him, hey, he right here. So yes, the oil, I think back then why Venezuela had the oil, but it was cutthroats and mismanagement of the oil. That's why Ukraine took over, right?
Excuse me?
That's why Ukraine and United States took over because mismanaged what they was doing with Venezuela. I mean, what Venezuela was doing in the early 1900s, maybe.
Well,
How did
I don't know of Ukraine ever taking over
the United
Venezuela.
States and Ukraine combined together and stuff? I
To
believe
take
in the
over Venezuela.
1900s, or
Okay,
probably later on.
that's a little bit out of my history book read, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you dap into it and look at the history, like you said, of Venezuela, it was mismanagement of the oil, and so United States, Ukraine, all them stepped in. Hey, let me have that up out you, player, and stuff. So, it's about oil and all that. What's really going on, but like that Minnesota thing, man, that girl, even her wife sent her off, man. And she felt bad, like, I can't believe I did this and all that. And people, like you said, Wyatt, and even you brought us homework too and told us to take a lesson on it and stuff before we try to give our input on it and stuff. And you told us when that fight happened downtown, you told us that's not the video.
It's not.
You go see the real action video when they go to court. That's what you go see. They just showing you a snippet.
Well, they showing
this
you
and
what
no,
they
huh?
want.
What you say, why?
They showed everybody the agenda. They showed the part that they want everybody to get mad at
And get roused up and everything, just like the Minnesota.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, hey, you put yourself in that position. You should have went home. You was trolling all them. Oh, you could have went home, lady. Now you wait for them bombing fluid to get up, and you could have went home. And then your lover and stuff, your wife feel bad now. Then raised 1.5 million. The goal was 50,000. I looked on there 1.5 million. Go fund me. Come on, man. Who it go to? They say who it go to? The kids or your wife? People was saying crazy stuff.
I mean, people always watching the money. They always watching the money. See, now you'll start having some people that have a different opinion about the money, because when the Karen, what was the lady's name? They got the Holly.
Holly
got 500,000 or whatever it was. Everybody was throwing her.
You don't hear her no more, do you? Why?
Well, what I heard was she was a Karen. She started some shit. She shouldn't have been in a man's fight. All the shit that made her look like she was in the wrong place. She shouldn't have been there. She shouldn't have been doing what she was doing. All that. I don't hear that about this lady who was driving from them same type of people, who was holding up the traffic and who was a baby.
Whole thing is ice immunity.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't hear the same arguments, and that's what takes credibility out of people's argument with me is when they match the energy different. When something, it may not be exactly the same, but the same people that say if this would have been a black lady in that car, these people would be saying, certain people would be saying that if it was a white woman, she would have never got shot like that. They would have took the time to shoot the tires. They would have did all this and did all that. I'm trying to tell you that the police don't care nothing about if you black or white when it comes to certain things. They shoot.
Exactly.
And I hate to say it that way because I'm not an advocate of the police shooting anybody. Of course not. But I'm just saying that for all this time, I didn't heard people talk about if this was a black person, if that was a black person, if, and all I've been standing on is there's plenty of white folks in the penitentiary. Must be a reason for that. There's probably innocent and guilty white people in the penitentiary. There's a lot of us there, but there's certainly 2 times, 3 times amount of them in the penitentiary. So
did you see Cheryl Jones' video?
Cheryl Jones?
Sheriff Jones of Butler County.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he demonstrated and everything how it was, and he like, no, that police ain't wrong. He ain't wrong because you using that as a weapon, your car. So he's not wrong for what he did, and I'm like, that's true.
Well, that's the same argument that they gave about the young lady up in Columbus, Ohio, the little sister that got shot. I couldn't even fight it because I was saying to myself, I know how this is going to turn out. Because she did rev the car and she took off, and the police officer shot her through the glass, and it went through the front glass, and it shot her because when you use a car, that's considered to be a dangerous thing, and you can't do that, And if you're gonna give this way more energy than you gave that, I can't respect people that have those arguments about those. I just rather not even talk about it because to me, I'm not gonna bang my head up against the wall of hypocrisy. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, we just need to just worry about self, man. I got issues going home, so I ain't gonna worry about the next man. I gotta fix myself.
All
And
right,
my
twin.
goal is to do
Well,
what
let
I
me
gotta
just
do
say
in
this to you,
2020. I'm
brother.
not gonna let the devil
Let
take
me
me
say
down
this.
like
Let
this.
me say this so you'll get on the right track about the public school system. You're not wrong for having the opinion that some people need to maybe help the school kids find better options for housing and things of that
That's
nature.
basically what it was.
But
Opinion
but
or just
but
knowing. But
but
you know, you said it
but
what you said.
but it is not Cincinnati Public Schools' job
Okay, I
to
understand
do.
now.
Now hear me out on this. I remember someone used to call in here. I don't know if he was trolling or whatever, but y'all when remember when I was telling y'all I have a friend of mine who's a principal up in Cleveland, Ohio. He's a
Yeah,
principal
yeah,
and he's in a hazardous zone. They call it a hazardous zone. That means you're in a high risk area of of
yeah.
work hazard. He's the principal of a school,
Yeah, I
and
remember you
I
telling that.
told y'all that these principals and some of the teachers, they always had these little things that he reaches out to me about. I would send underwear, socks, and
Yeah,
toothbrushes and toothpaste and stuff like that up there. Those was what we
yeah.
were donating. And some people were like, man, um, uh, you ain't got your friend, he's bad. He shouldn't be doing all that stuff. Like that's just that, what I'm saying? We send t-shirts. My wife and I, we used to put these little packets together, and we would send 200 packets of toothpaste, toothbrushes, t-shirts, and socks and underwear. We
For
would,
the less fortunate.
yeah, we would send it up there to his school. He's up in Cleveland. And
Yeah, I
some
remember
people
you
was,
saying that.
yeah, they were tripping on, I mean, not some people, just a couple, just a few. And what I'm saying
Hmm.
to you is, see, that's not so far away from what you're saying, but it's not the
Yeah.
school that's doing it. It's the principal. It's his drive. It's what he wants to do for the kids that he need that stuff in his district. You see what I'm saying? So it's not,
So,
look, if you look at the
so
taxes, property taxes, like 70% of property taxes go toward the school. So they get their money. It's just how they budget it. You know,
So, like what you just said, 70%. But can't you, as a mindset of you have a heart or some sympathy for the kids, can't you say, hey, man, we as a board family, we got to sit down. Hey, maybe this our idea. We can take this 2 million and help the parking lot kids. You know, in the city. So I'm just thinking. That's the way I was thinking. Why now that you educated, open my mind about it,
well,
that you can't do it like that. But
when you do
now
that,
that
twin,
that's why
when you
it's
do
just
that,
how I'm thinking. I
no, no,
don't
no,
know.
no. I'm
This
not
how
mad
I'm
at I'm
thinking.
not mad at you
And
for that.
people think I'm wrong for what I'm
No,
saying.
no, but
But
because they understand a little bit differently than you. Here's the thing: when you pull, if you allocate $100,000 to computers, and now you want to take 20,000 of the money away from the computer um, allocation, what does that do to the the computer game? See what I'm saying? When you take things from, see, it's a budget. So when you have to account in that budget for every dime. So if you say we got $500,000 that we're using to do this, and that, and
yeah,
then you start taking 10,000 out of those 5 or 6 different things,
yeah.
now you're hurting something that's probably already limited in what it has funds for in the first place.
But that's a good cause though. Why what I'm saying? But
All
now
of it
that
is a good
you
cause.
know, now you told me
All
now
of
I
it,
understand now.
all of it is a good cause. Having cute computers, having updated books, having screens that are having updated
Yeah,
software in the computer. I mean, in the classrooms, being able to
yeah.
pay teachers a 7% raise. All of that stuff is important.
Now that you're like my mind, now that I know, don't say break me down. Oh, you unscare you stupid man. I gotta ask. I don't know about the way how that money
Then
move and
here's
all that.
what you do.
But I just want
Here
to
here
know
then here
how
then here's
how
what you
you.
do.
It was just my concern, Wyatt.
I understand, bro, but
You know how
sometimes
people live. I'm just concerned for the kid. That's all twin here for, man. How can we throw money to paying tax, but can you allocate a little bit, a couple of million to build a trailer or something? Let's
okay.
make the kids comfortable, man, or
But
something, man.
I don't know how that
I
program is
don't know
working.
why. I don't
I
know,
know I'm
man.
saying
I swear I
I don't know
don't,
how
man.
that program is working, but I can tell you this. Wherever they got the money to fix those, is it parking lots or something that they doing, putting those kids in now? I don't know exactly what
Yeah,
it is.
I guess it's a parking lot from
It
the
didn't
school, and
it
then you go in the building. They say you can wash up and get
Okay,
food, but
that money didn't come from the schools, is what I'm thinking. So wherever and whoever created,
that's why I want to know why.
well, wait a minute, twin, hold. Wherever that money came from, those are the avenues you go down to try to make it, to try to get more things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you go down those rabbit holes to get that kind of money.
Okay,
Not the
I'm gonna
school
call
and it's
Stefan. The
not the
real nigga knows.
huh?
I'm gonna call Stefan. The real nigga people know. He know everything. I'm
Well,
gonna ask him
all due
questions.
respect.
I'm gonna ask you. You brought a good idea. I'm gonna ask him.
Okay.
And stuff. Hey, ask that money and where they getting it from. I mean, I'm glad you said because he know and he'll get into it and everything. I ask
You
him.
better
People
do
might
your research. You better
huh?
do your research because just because somebody's saying a whole lot of something don't necessarily
No,
mean it's
I'm
right.
just saying what's his. I'm gonna ask him what's his thoughts on it, what you thinking, where the money, how's they doing this and everything.
Okay.
So I'm at, hey, before I close and stuff, you see the game, man?
Which game you talking about? Chicago?
Every game. It
Well,
was a
yeah,
good
I
game,
did.
man.
I watched all of them, but I didn't watch the Patriot game. The Patriot game was not really intriguing.
I
I
think
don't.
I ain't really too much, but I watched the. I mean, I want the Eagles to win, man, but
I
you
didn't
know,
either. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want the Eagles to win, and that's
why?
because of Gilly. I don't like the Gilly dude. He get on my
Who's
nerves.
Gilly?
Gilly is the dude from $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and he's the little short dude with the big head, that the big hat. He wear the
Oh,
big
you
hat.
talking about you talking about Wallow and Gilly?
Yeah.
From
I'm so
Philly with
sick of
that
him. I'm so
funny
sick
looking
of
head. I know you
I'm
talking
so
about.
sick of him wearing that big goofy ass hat, and they play blow the whistle. You know what I mean? I get tired of that. All right, twin, I gotta go, man. I got people calling in. I appreciate you engaging
I
with
know
us,
you
bro.
just don't want to talk about my Bears, huh?
Oh no, I'm for
Huh?
real. They on fire, bro. I'm happy for your Bears. I actually was rooting for them the other night because my partner, Jermaine, he the
Yes.
biggest Bengal hater, but he a Packer fan. So I had to
Oh,
root against the Packers the other night, so he would be in bed crying at night.
okay.
I love
I'm
it.
sorry I took over your show and stuff.
No, it's
Maybe
all
you'll
right. It's
let me
all
host
good.
one
It's
day.
all good. We needed something to talk about, and you
Yeah,
do.
I think I need to host one day if you give me that chance.
Absolutely, bro. Any day you ready to do it, you let me know. I think
All right, well,
it'll
be
be
safe,
sooner than
man.
later,
Pray
brother.
for me.
All
All
right,
right, I
brother.
can say.
Talk to you. Thank you. That was twin. Yeah, I think. Look, I can only hold his hand through the uproar and when he on the runway or taking off and all of that. I can only hold his hand so far. He, I'm saying this nicely. You have to channel your anger. Sometimes people won't pay it. Don't allow your passion to become you can't let your passion become anger, because when you're trying to explain something, the anger leads the way and the passion goes totally out of it. So now passion doesn't really look like passion. Passion looks like anger. I'm going to give you an analogy from boxing. Whenever you see a guy at a press conference or at a weigh-in, or when they doing some type of interacting with one another, there's always one trying to get up under the skin of the other. You feel me? Very seldom do you see two fighters go up there, shake hands, and give each other hugs and say, hey man, we're gonna have a great event. This is gonna turn, this is gonna do this, blah, blah, blah. They, very seldom do you see that type of interaction. One is usually strategic enough to try to get up under the other's skin. And the reason why is because it's strategy. They know that no matter how skilled you are as a fighter, no matter how skilled you are as a talker or a person, or no matter how much skill you have at what you do, if you're not right in the mind, anybody has a better shot at beating you at what you do best, because you're not thinking clearly. And anger is the number one thing. Anger is the number one thing to make people not think clearly. You see what I'm saying? So whenever you see somebody in the round and, about to go into a fight with somebody, or, and they trying to get up under their skin, of course it's strategic, but it's really meant to work inside the ring. So I very seldom, when I see somebody, I know the difference between passion and anger. I can have a conversation with a passionate person. I can't have a conversation with someone that's angry. A passionate person will allow you to say whatever you have to say. Okay. An angry person generally cuts you off, won't let you get a word in, and they have selective hearing. So it's hard for me to have a conversation with someone that's angry because they're not thinking clearly. And no matter what you say, it's not going to make any sense to them. Now, a passionate person, if they really, really care, they'll open themselves up, not necessarily see it different or hear it different, but they'll open themselves up because they want to talk about it. They're passionate about it. So they want to have a conversation. And if they can hear something new, or if something comes to the table that's different, then they willing to maybe, okay, maybe so, maybe, what I'm saying? They might open up to something. All right. Let me go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey Wyatt, this is Amber.
Hey, Amber, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. What's on
I
your
ain't gonna
mind?
be as long as Twin.
Nobody's ever gonna be as long as Twin.
So I'm gonna say this. I had a conversation with some older ladies that were in their mid to late 60s in my salon, and we were talking about the government, and we were talking about them just complaining, saying it's wrong for them to adjust whatever happened with the EBT, where they were saying that it was a whole bunch of fraud and they were going to change, like, I guess, people having to reapply for SNAP benefits.
Okay.
And I was like, why are you against someone doing a budget? And if it's fraud or if it's wasteful spending, that's our money. And they were like, what you mean it's our money? I said, the tax money. That's the government money. I said, the government doesn't generate any money. And they were like, oh, you don't understand what you say. And these women, 20, 25 years older than me. And I'm like, you don't recognize that the government, the money that they're using is our tax money. And the more that they waste it, the more we have to pay. Like, so you should want them to not waste money, because the better they are with managing the money, maybe we can get a break on it. Like, we can't just keep being reckless. And they were just not getting it. Mm-hmm. So, and not being disrespectful to Twin, but like, when you don't understand how the money works or how it moves, right, like, it doesn't matter what somebody's telling you. You can be loud and wrong, but like, if you just understand, or like listening and comprehending is two different things.
Absolutely.
And like, I like Twin, but I think he's obviously older than me. I'm 44. So he's obviously older than me, but like, I think that he doesn't comprehend some of the things that are happening. Like, he just doesn't get it.
Well, in his defense,
mm-hmm.
Y'all probably about the same age, but in his defense,
okay,
I'll say that it kind of goes down to what I just said earlier. And that is, when you're passionate about something, that's one thing. When you're angry about something, it's hard to have a clear understanding of what you're talking about. There are people out here protesting and hollering about some shit, and then if you ask them what's the definition of what it is that they're talking about, fascism or something like that, they don't really know what the word is, but they carrying a sign that got it in capital R. Capital, whatever they hollering and screaming, it's in capital. And you know what I mean? And they can't define it. And then if you can't define what you're talking about, then how could you have a valid point that how could you say what you're saying is true? Or, that's someone that's angry about something, but not really passionate about it, because passion will allow you to open yourself up to new ideas and what's right, what's wrong, and does this make sense? And you can apply common sense to passion. You can't apply common sense to anger. It doesn't, no sense at all matters when you're angry. You see what I'm saying? And that's just, I don't know, I've like I told you, I got a best friend that him and I became best friends when I was 40 years old. He's a little bit older than me. And I said this story last week. The one thing he compliments me on in life is how I took a lot of that anger out of his decision making. Because when I very seldom have seen anybody make a decision in life and it worked out for them in a positive or a good way if they were angry and mad.
Mhm.
Even if your man, your boyfriend, your husband, or whoever cheat on you, how you deal with him is going to be different if you're angry at him at that time, or if you get into a better space in your mind. You'll have a better outcome of it working out better for you if you have the better peace of mind. But if you deal with his ass when you're angry, you're gonna
You're gonna be in jail.
cut yourself short. You're gonna drive off that cliff trying to kill him. You're gonna kill yourself. And
Yeah.
that's just the difference between passion, people that are passionate about some, people that are angry about things. And we all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it
Yeah.
myself. Sometimes I allow anger to get the best of what I'm doing.
Yeah, but should nobody be calling? Like I said, we're adults, and we shouldn't be calling people stupid. And it's not about being stupid or smart. You can have a very, very high GPA and book smart, but you still don't, comprehend or don't understand. So it's not twin. You're not stupid. You just don't understand. So like Wyatt was trying to explain, you got to kind of go to some of the school board meetings and just kind of look at when they do their budget. And then look up on Google. I always tell people think you're trying to be funny, like Google is your friend. Like if you don't understand, why can't you can ask Google, Chat GPT, you can ask all these questions, and do it in private if you're embarrassed to ask other people, and then listen and you know what I'm saying, learn something. Don't just take somebody else's advice. Learn how something works so that you can actually have can actually have a conversation about it, because you actually understand the foundation. You might not understand everything,
right,
but you understand the foundation. My sister she's an assistant principal at a school in Cincinnati, and her best friend is a superintendent of a school in Cincinnati. And we were talking about when Cincinnati Public were saying they were going to put I don't know, somewhere for homeless families.
Mm-hmm.
And they both were extremely against it. And they make, they're in education. They it's more liability. And
right, they have a better
already
understanding.
too responsible for too much.
Yeah, they have a different understanding of what is in
Yes.
store for them,
Yes.
as overall. It's
Yeah,
almost
they don't
like
want to come to school. They got to come to work early.
right.
And then what happened if somebody then overdose? Somebody mama then overdose, or somebody mama get raped, or somebody breaking a car, somebody gets shot. Anything can happen, and it puts more liability on the school. So that's why they said they were extremely against it, because it's just something extra. My sister, she didn't put money into buying kids clothes, buying people people's kids coats and stuff like that. And she my mama was a single parent. My daddy died when we were 6 and 7. And my mama you just got to do what you need to do. You have to parent your kids. It's not the community's responsibility to do everything and you do nothing. It's just not. And we have to get away from that. It is sad that this kid is homeless. And when you didn't eat, you probably can't focus. They know that you can't focus. But if your mama get food stamps and you getting free and you getting fed at school and everything else, it's okay, we have to come back and say, well, why is it okay for these parents to not parent their kids? Why are we not getting to the root of it? The root is bad parenting. Have some social workers or do something to help people parent and hold them responsible, and stop putting it on everybody else.
Because
I don't want to parent other people's kids.
I'm just parenting mine. Let me say something about that. That's an unbelievable, that's a real ass point. Let me just say this, and it's going to sound insensitive, so let's try to take the kids out of it. But what a lot of people don't understand is liability. A lot of people always have these answers about what should be done, how this could be done, and this and that. There's someone who has to oversee that stuff, and they don't want that responsibility, not because they don't have love for the kids,
because they already have too much responsibility.
And there's too much that can actually go wrong for this person. Now they have more. You already got 30 kids in a classroom that I'm responsible for. Now I got to come to work 30 minutes early, and now I have a different responsibility that's now, even more liability on me if something goes wrong.
And people forget we have a social service system. The only reason the social service system is not working is because it's too many damn people on it. It wasn't like majority of the people used to be responsible adults. Now people just don't be responsible, not because like some of them still like, drugs, or they just don't have, they're underemployed or whatever. But some people just lazy ass don't want to parent. They just want to do what they want to do. And the kids is just on the wayside. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying we need to start holding people accountable. When you don't do what you're supposed to do, them kids that's gonna be in the neighborhood that's gonna be robbing and doing all type of foolishness. No, lock their mama up. You don't get to just make everybody else responsible.
That's the plaguing question. That's the difference between some people. That's the argument right there that we never have. We never have the debate of why we don't hold the people who put people in those conditions, their children in those conditions. Why don't we have more accountability coming out of them? Why do we allow that to happen and then have a place? And this is going to sound insensitive, but I think a lot of people know what I'm talking about. You reward bad behavior. They say reward bad behavior. It's not necessarily rewarding bad behavior, but you facilitate it. Does that make sense to you, Amber? It's like we facilitate bad decision making because now you have a child that you have to consider that's in the mix of all of this, and it's not the kid's fault. So now we got free lunch at school, and see, I'm a free lunch kid. Okay, I'm a free lunch kid.
Wait a minute, let me just say this. Okay, I had a problem with the whole thing when COVID happened. Okay, cool. I had a problem with the school district saying we're going to do free lunch for everybody. I said absolutely the hell not, because that means that you taking more money out of my taxes to pay for this. No, my daughter does not buy lunch. She likes to pack lunch. She could buy lunch if she could. It should be charity for people who need it. But for everybody to get a bill because you want to lump everybody in, absolutely not. I don't believe in socialism. I believe in helping who needs help. That's just what it is. And it can't be everyone. Because, some people, mamas they household making $300 and something thousand a year. Why they need free lunch? They don't need it.
I get that. I get it. And unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. We're all put. I don't know any other way other than if one day we have the conversation of how do we deal with parents. I've always said we don't have bad kids, we have bad parents.
Bad parents.
You see what I'm saying?
Terrible parents. And they get worse and worse. And it ain't because they're young. I had my first child at 18. Like, it's not because they're young. It's because they're irresponsible and nobody holds them to a standard.
Well, here's the thing. I remember when I was coming up, I'm sure a lot of people remember this. I can't give you a time frame. I don't know if it was in the 90s, early 2000s, or the 80s. I don't remember. But I remember they were talking about people could only stay on welfare for so much time.
Come on now, Wyatt. Come on now. It was the early 2000s. It was during Clinton. I got on assistance. So I had my son at 18, had him in 2000. When my mother would not sign me up, she wouldn't allow me to get on government assistance because she said that's not the taxpayer's responsibility. That's your responsibility. You signed yourself up to be a parent. You're gonna parent. So I had to move out of my mom's house so that I could get assistance because she would not fill out no paperwork.
Right.
She's like, it's not gonna be easy. You chose this stuff.
But here's the thing, Amber. Here's the thing. The majority of kids that are out here doing the things that we see, all this shooting and the robbing and this carjacking and the chasing down the roads, and that's generally, in most cases, not in all, but primarily, those are the kids that are out there doing that type of stuff. So it's more than just a financial burden to the taxpayer or to the people. It can be a public safety issue. It could be a community issue with safety, with how much do you bet that 10-year-old? I can tell you right now, I don't mean any disrespect to the family, but chances are that 11-year-old girl that got shot at the park a week or two ago, she probably got shot by a dropout. She probably got shot. He sure in the hell ain't on the A or the B honor roll.
Oh, you know
So
he got
what
shot
I'm
by a
telling,
dropout.
right?
That's
So
just like we know he was black and he was also between the
well,
ages of
we
16
really
and
don't
25.
know, but chances are, you know what I'm saying?
We know.
Well, what I'm
We
saying,
don't know who it is,
right?
but I guarantee he got on skinny jeans and probably got dreads too. Like, I mean, like we know
You're
what it
killing
is.
me, but I don't know all of that. All I'm saying to you is, you
I
know,
guarantee he ain't fat.
we don't address the elephant in the room. We tend to
Oh,
work
you don't?
around. We work around it because it's too offensive and it hurts feelings to talk about the problems that we have. Look,
It only hurts
Amber,
feelings because it's called accountability.
Amber, I put a post out on my page yesterday, I believe it was, and it was a very simple post. And that it doesn't, my posts don't get a lot of engagement because if you really think about it, it's all about accountability. If you see my post, it said, if you really want to help our community, the first thing you should do is start with your own household. If you take care of your household, then that's how it was when we was growing up. Ask Mama Birch. Everybody had we had to take turns to clean our hallways. Everybody was concerned about their own household first, and that makes it easier to keep your community clean. But when you don't have any concern, if you're not taking care of yours, you know, somebody, they're raising havoc or doing something to somebody out there. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you know, you're gonna have your people that definitely make it difficult for you to say the things that you say. That's why we can never have the real conversations, because we don't talk about the things that are really happening. We want to talk in the of we just had those conversations, and nobody, we wait for something else to happen. You know, we wait for something else to happen to start talking about something different. But I just don't understand why we do that, because I don't know if it's easier to deal. You know, it's like this. When you have an internal problem in a family, Uncle Roy been touching the kids in the family for 2 decades.
They'll tell the kids, y'all come in here, don't y'all be in there.
Don't nobody ever want to tell the truth about
nobody
Uncle Roy.
Put Uncle Roy ass, beat
right.
his ass and lock him up.
Nobody wants to deal with Uncle Roy the way Uncle Roy need to be dealt with. But soon as somebody catches ass out here outside the family doing something to their kids like that,
and
now
they beat his ass or shoot him, then
right.
they, you know,
now the family know Uncle Roy wasn't shit. We know that. And then you got the community all hollering and screaming because this man got shot. We don't know what really happened, but I guarantee you there's some family members. We do the same thing when our kids get out here and get in trouble with the police or get pulled over or get chased down and get into shootouts with the police. You notice that they only talk about the things that happen in the community that have bad outcomes. They never talk about the car chases that these kids get out and run and never get caught. They never talk about the car. There was just one on the expressway the other day. Nobody's talking about that, but that's the same situation that happened when the little Hinton kid got shot. See, you don't talk about the getaways. You only talk about the ones where the bad outcomes happen. Until you start having a conversation about it all going down, then stop with the conversations about he got shot by the police. Because if you really did your research and seen how often that type of shit happens every day or every other day, you would say, well, damn, it was bound to happen.
Yep.
You would say that. No different than these people that's dealing with these ICE people.
We too caught up with not being accountable for the bullshit that we put ourselves into. And it's not a stereotype. Like, it sounds like a stereotype, but when you can look at factual evidence that this continues to keep happening, it's a conversation that our community needs to stop ignoring. Like, we lack accountability. We lack taking responsibility for our part in the bullshit. Like, we just do.
Well, you know, I had an old man tell me a long time ago. I would say his name. Some of y'all know him. Let me take a sip on this. because this is gonna sting a little bit. Okay. I'll just keep it at I had an old wise man tell me, an old man tell me one time, stop listening to them niggas. Stop listening to black people. Stop listening to them niggas. Stop listening to white people. Because they all have larceny in their heart. Not none of them gonna get along. Pay attention to the Jewish people and the Asians, because we live in a capital world. We live in a capitalistic country. And them the only ones around you that's all about trying to get their money and get their business right. That's what I was told by an old head years ago. And I learned a lot of what I learned by taking that philosophy from him. Stop listening to people that got all this shit to say about the other ones and this and this and that. Pay attention to the Asians and to the Jews, because them the ones that's taking care of their business in this capital.
And the Indians, don't forget the Indians.
Well, I'm just telling you what he told me back then. I'm telling you what he told me back then. They ain't doing nothing but going against one another, back and forth, arguing about who doing this to this and this and that. The Jews ain't got shit to say about it, and the Asians don't have nothing to say about it. They building business in America, and they've been doing it for decades. And when he told me about this, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I'm sitting back watching. You don't see dark-skinned little Indian boys getting drugged down the street like you see our kids. They at their 7-Elevens, or they at the damn Dunkin' Donut working for their family. You don't see that.
They daddy drugged their ass downstairs because they ain't going.
Well, here's the thing. It goes back to that world. It goes back to that word legacy. Okay. It goes back to, I don't want to disappoint my parents. It goes back to, I'm going to leave my kids something. See, that's what I paid attention to when it came down to who I study and who I look at. People could say whatever they want to say about what I'm talking about. But to be honest with you, what you really want to do in life, you have to pattern it from somewhere. You got to pattern it from somewhere. You got to get the blueprint from somewhere, whether it's your mama or daddy got it, or somebody else's mother and daddy has it. I don't care where it come from.
Because your parents don't have it, don't mean you can't. Like I said, you can't look at it.
You can't get it.
We know right from wrong. You know what you want for your life.
There you go.
You know what you want.
There you go. And you just got to find who can get you there. And it doesn't necessarily mean they holding your hand. It just means that you watching what they do. See, I've been a thief my whole life, Amber. I've been a thief my whole life. I steal ideas. And I steal blueprints. I mean, that's just what, and then occasionally I'll think of something of my own, but I apply those blueprints to my own thoughts. And that's just, that's part of it. I told you it was going to sting a little bit. There's people that don't like to hear that, what I just said. They don't want to hear that, because they want you to believe that, some of us are lucky. I mean, there's a level of luck that happens to all of us. You just gotta, nobody's ever gonna come get you off the couch while you eating a bowl of cereal, playing PlayStation, and ask you if you want to be successful. If so, come with me. It's not gonna happen.
No, it's not. All right, Wyatt. I just said I was gonna call in. I just wanted to, do that.
I appreciate you. Thanks for engaging with us today.
All right, be safe.
You too. Yeah. It's funny that y'all spoke about school today. Twin said something about school. I've been wanting to play this video that I have about public school. I've been wanting to play that for days. It's been on deck here for the longest. And it was basically Killer Mike, a friend of mine, really good guy, nice guy. He's all about empowering our communities and the growth and black banks and things of that nature. I've always been a fan of Killer Mike from that point of view. Is the music, you know what I mean? I like his music. I would never say I don't like it, but it's never really been one of the things that's believe it. His music is not his strong strength for me. It's not his strong spot for me. Okay, I'm more of a let me hear what he's talking about with the people and what's how we need to be doing certain things. And he's an advocate for black banking. And so am I. So we have a lot in common. But now his debate was with the Breakfast Club. Y'all remember I told y'all I had this on deck last week about our kids going to public school. He believes highly in public schools. I told you guys I believe in public schools too. But there's a reason why I chose to send my kids to private school, Catholic school, or whatever you want to call it. And it's not because I think that public schools aren't as good. I mean, I can argue that they're not, but I didn't have that in mind at that time. I believe that it's important. The environment is important no matter what you do. If you wake up and go to work every day and you go into a bad environment, you'll no matter how good or how marginal you are at that job, it's going to be tough to get in there and do what you need to do every day. You know, when you go into a bad environment, bad meaning like a lot of noise, a lot of distractions, a lot of this, a lot of that, your Jordan's leaning to the side, or look at your hair, you need activator, whatever. When there's a lot of capping and shit going on and there's a lot of distractions away from the education, yeah, I that's not a good spot for my kids. You feel me? I just believe that you guys remember this. Give me 15 little girls, give me 15 little boys. I don't care. You can put me in bloom. You give me 15 little boys and 15 little girls that want to learn and want to be something in this life, and I'm going to give you 30 productive citizens, and they're going to be ready for the world when they finish the 12th grade. They're going to be going off to either trade school or going off to college. They're going to be ready for the world. See, I believe that since not necessarily Cincinnati public school, I've seen way worse public schools in my life than Cincinnati. Cincinnati public school is like a freaking Ivy League school compared to New Orleans public school system. All right, where the 12th graders are reading at a second grade, third grade reading level. I mean, it was bad back then, and it hasn't gotten any better. Okay, it's worse than Baltimore public school. But I'm a firm believer that when you put a kid in an environment where the majority of kids don't value education, and unfortunately, you run into that when you deal with a lot of public schools. I mean, public schools just tend to not have the same focus. And it's not just the parents or the kids. If you really think about it, I mean, the counselors may not be as strong, because what happens is when they're dealing with certain parents, it's hard to stay motivated for people who are not motivated for themselves. It's hard to say, Miss Anderson, your daughter is on the B, she's on the B honor roll. She could really be on the A honor roll, and I can get her scholarships to go to such and such. And Miss Anderson don't care, ain't thinking nothing about college for her daughter, ain't thinking nothing about college for her son. So that kid is not getting the motivation at home that they need in order so it to be reinforced when they go to school. So as elitist as this is going to sound, I just got to say it. I need my kid to be in an environment where all the kids are on the same page when it comes down to what's next. You very seldom see kids graduate from private school or Catholic school and they don't know what direction they're going in. See, this is not the school, to be honest with you. The school is just the platform. It's just the chair and the desk and the teachers and the morning prayer, whatever. That's just the building. But all of what I'm talking about comes from home. I need my kid to be around parents like my wife and I. That's all. And you don't know. See, y'all got to understand how the money move. A private school will kick your kid out doing dumb shit. They don't give a shit about one kid and tuition. They got 498 more kids that they get in tuition from. One badass kid is not going to stay in a private school effing it up for everybody. A distraction or a disruption, they're not going to allow that. Public school, I can't say the same. Public school, you can damn near burn the school down and do some shit, get expelled or whatever, appeal it and be back. I've seen stuff like that. Not saying it's still the same way, but it was like that some years ago. And y'all know there's some kids in some of these schools. Just think about it. Why would I want my kid in a classroom with a bunch of class clowns, with 2 or 3 classes? That's all it take. Why would I want my little girl going to school and she got to worry about if her hair done right? Why? What the fuck difference does it make if she? Why do I want my daughter going to school with a bunch of kids that see her? If you don't have on Jordans, then you ain't rich. Or if you don't have this, if you don't have that, if you ain't doing this, if you ain't doing that. And see, that's the environment I grew up in. I grew up in the environment of, oh man, shit, I gotta get some money. Fuck third bell. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go out and give me some motherfucking paper so I can rock them J's. I'm gonna stand. I mean, think about it. How many private school kids you think standing outside at 5 a.m. in the morning waiting for the new J's to come out? Think about that. As a parent, you should want more. You should want all. Look, I think personally, the only reason why I don't like public school is because public schools slow down for kids. They slow down. There's nothing wrong with public school outside of the fact that public school is meant to be there for everybody, and it'll slow down the whole classroom for a couple kids. Now, they used to have them little classes, and I'm sure they probably still do, but I don't mean necessarily textbook slow down. I'm talking about they'll let a kid be disruptive and constantly let that kid be disruptive. They'll bring that kid back. That kid is worth money to the public school system. It's not the same value. The kid doesn't have the same, and I know this sounds crazy. Kids have a different value in public school. Think about it. Remember when that school Don's shut down? Don's, which we already knew that was a disaster. Remember when that shut down? And remember when they went out there with the tables and chairs and, oh, we re-signing up, we letting people come in. Most of them kids already got issues. They were at Don's for a reason. You think I want my kid? Now, I know this sounds crazy. I know it don't sound good on the ears. But the truth of the matter is, I don't want some little boy who already got a kid fucking with my daughter in 6 bail. I don't want that. My daughter is here for school. She's supposed to be focused, and she don't need somebody manipulating her into going to the gym and the locker room. I don't want all of that. And I'm not suggesting that it don't happen at private school, but I'm saying to you, I need my kid to be around kids that are focused on school. That's all. And I think what happens is when you get kids who parents value education, they put their kids in better environments. It's not necessarily the environment that's better. It's the people who makes the environment better. Think about it. There's a little school down in, I think it's Atlanta. It was on 60 Minutes. All those little black kids going down there with excellence. And I'm saying to myself, that school ain't no different than Taft. It's just that some of them kids in there, every kid in that school in Atlanta, they all about their business because they mamas and they daddies or whoever they people are, got them in school. Education is key. And they roll that way. They put education first. I don't give a fuck what time them Jordans come out tomorrow. I don't care what time Basketball Wives come on at 6 o'clock tonight, 8 o'clock. I don't care. I got an essay I got to do. They put education ahead of all the bullshit. And I just think that that's some of the difference. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to use some names. I normally don't do this. I'm going to use a couple school names. My kids went to school in Cincinnati. Okay. My kids had been going to a Catholic school their whole elementary years. Now, y'all know I didn't grow up like that. Shit, I went to Washburn. I ended up going to Sands. You know what I'm saying? I went to Children's House East up in Mount Adams. Feel me? Like I went to some hood schools. So it took me some understanding of why things turn out the way they are. Okay. But now let me explain something to you. When my little girl, when she entered the 9th grade, excuse me. I think it was the 9th grade. I pulled her out of St. Ives. I pulled her out of St. Ives. My wife can't stand me to this day for doing this shit to my daughter. Because I know the world is not a private school. The world is full of people that's over at this school that I'm about to send my daughter to. Y'all don't get mad. Don't get angry. I'm just going to use real names of these schools because it's important that you understand where I'm coming from. My daughter had been going to St. Ives for 8 years, 8 school years. Kindergarten all the way to the 8th grade. When she got out of the 8th grade, I sent her to Coleraine High School. Now, if anybody know, Coleraine is not Coleraine from the 90s or the early 2000s, whatever. It's not the same. Okay? The environment is different. The school hasn't changed itself. The people have changed. Sent my kid to Coleraine, and I wanted her. See, she had already been playing basketball for St. Ives, and they winning all these tournaments and all that old shit. And I'm like, nah, babe, I'm about to send her over to Coleraine where she got a locker, where she got to protect her shit. All right. Donna said, where is St. Ives? St. Ives is down the street from Coleraine because we lived in that area. We lived in the in that Green Township area. And my wife can't stand me to this day. I guarantee you, if my funeral was scheduled for tomorrow, she gonna bring up, and he sent our baby to Coleraine. I'm just kidding. But anyway, she hated the fact that I sent my baby to a school like Coleraine. Now, this is kind of long, but I'll keep it short. My baby got there because I wanted her to experience what real world is. Now, you can take an iPod there if you want to. Somebody might try to check that shit in. I need you to learn how to deal with people like that. Oh yeah, I was preparing her. I need you to deal with the things that's out here in this world waiting for you. That's what you're gonna catch at Coleraine. Lock your locker, learn how to brace up and get ready to deal with some of this manipulative bullshit at the 6th grade locker room, lunchroom table. The shit I talk about here. All that shit that you're gonna be that's gonna be out here in this world waiting for you is gonna be sitting in that school over there. And my wife couldn't stand me for that. My wife and I are a little bit different on the upbringing. I'm from different shit. Okay. My wife went to Seton and all that old shit, and she stayed in them places. Okay. I wanted my baby to experience not only better basketball. She's a point guard for Coleraine. Not only basketball, but the life that Coleraine is putting in front of her. Now, let me tell you why my wife was right. I think both of us was right, and this is the beauty. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the beauty of having mom and a dad that brought this to my baby's life. Check it out. Y'all know what I was trying to teach. David Herring know what I was trying to teach. Shaba know what I was trying to teach to my baby. Some of y'all know what I was trying to teach, right? But now let me tell you what my wife was saying. That shit ain't got nothing to do with the bottom line of her education. And she was right. We both were right. Neither one of us was wrong. My wife said, now we got to get our baby a tutor. Now we got to get this and we got to get that, because we end up sending her to a different school after that 1 year at Coleraine, because my baby was behind. Coleraine was not teaching her at the pace that a 9th grader should have been learning at. They were behind. She didn't, and those are critical years. Math is a little bit different. These are pivotal, critical years of a child's life. They're just introducing to certain types of math, certain types of different things that, education-wise. And my baby fell behind because of the school she went to. So when we ended up putting her back in private school, now she's behind. So we had to get tutors. We had to catch her up to where she should have been. Now I ask myself, was it worth it? Yes, it was worth it, because my baby has the work ethic to catch up. But now what do I say to those kids that don't have that work ethic to catch up or are just behind? Do we blame Coleraine, or do we blame the public school system, or do we blame the fact that you have people there that just don't buckle down? It's not, they don't have to treat education as a priority. Some kids just go to school because they mamas just made them. Like, get your ass up. You ain't washed your ass. They ain't washed their face. They ain't done nothing. They just get on the bus or they walk down the street and go to school. They don't want to be there. The only place that they somebody is at school because they might be a class clown. They might not even have lunch money. So, you know, the free lunch, they don't like it, but they eat it because they have to. And then they might take your baby's, you know, money, or it's just so much going on in these schools. And it's not because of the school. We got to go back to the parent. It's the lack of accountability. It's the lack of a parent being prepared to parent. These are the conversations that we're not having. Yeah. Those are see, you shouldn't need a staff downtown monitoring fucking students that look like us. We should have enough self-respect that we can look at each other like we used to when we carried our books in the 60s and the 70s. And nobody fighting like that, man. We had too much self-pride. You know what I'm saying? We didn't do each other so bad that when we see each other as on sight, we ready to fight. We just didn't do that shit. We've lost touch in a whole lot of different places, but yet, you know what's wrong? We never want to have the conversations about where we're lost touched. We always want to blame somebody else for what we choose to do to one another. Go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Mr. Wyatt, this is CK out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
CK, what's good with you, brother?
Hey, man, you're so right. And like I said, once we diagnose the problem, sir, it's a very fixable problem. I'm calling your show and I'm telling you about it. We just have to stop thriving off the. It's like if I like effing with you and I'm getting off on it. That's what we have as a people. This American people, it's like I like her. I'm giving up everything to destroy you. That's my money. That's my that's my entertainment, my enjoyment is destruction. It's kind of like DJ Vlad.
I get it.
Yeah. So hit them hard with that. Left hooks, right hands, jabs, uppercuts. And when they go to the ground, stomp their ass, Wyatt. So you dig into their heart and their soul, and then they will see. I'm not the problem. I'm the solution, Wyatt. Your thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you in a way, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get you to buy into what I'm selling. What I'm selling is, see, we're in Cincinnati, land of the hate. You know, you from down the way, you done seen it. They got some of the best hands you ever seen down there. We done seen world champions come out of that. Elder Charles, Aaron Pryor, just to name a couple. But listen, sir, those guys had love in their heart. When you looked at Aaron, he described what you said. He didn't look at it. He was not Tony Tubbs. He was a kind-hearted gentleman with skills. Would you agree?
Who? Which one? Who you talking about?
AP, Aaron Pryor.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. He was a little, you know, he shocked me as being. I know a lot of nice guys that are fighters, but
yeah, they wouldn't hurt a fly, right? Them type of guys, right?
Wouldn't step on a roach.
Oh man!
Right.
Whoa!
We had
because I heard about the story. Because you know, Ali used to come in Cincinnati, and somebody had a roach, and they said Grandpa hit it with the left hook, smashed it real quick. But like you said, Ali ain't killed the roach. That ain't the story. That wasn't the story that Ali said, "Oh, roach, don't kill it." No, it was Grandpa that killed the roach. Right. That's why that's what.
A lot of people don't know the roach story when it comes to boxing. That's why they probably thought that you and I were just giggling at some goofy shit. But no, there's a story behind what was said. But go ahead, CK. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so when we hit the youth with the effervescence, then the violence starts. See, like you say, you stay strapped. You had your close call with death with your family at Walmart in Columbus or Dayton. One of those places you was at, it was
Columbus, Ohio.
Very dangerous.
Columbus, Ohio was dangerous. It's dangerous in Columbus, Ohio.
And luckily, you already had investments to prepare you for that. And when I say investments, that's prayers. We got grandmas, aunties, cousins, nieces, nephews, sons, daughters, right? So remember, don't forget the prayer aspect. That's what we lose aspect, because now you have to be careful. Wish good, because when you're talking all that shit on the internet, talking about how much money, not you, I'm talking about the braggers, you know, the people that be flashing money. That's not who you are. I see class in you, but it's people that flash money on there. But when you bragging about how you could buy another family and all that, then your kid's sick. Then you fucked up. See, money can't get you. You can't buy your kid back. That's why you don't be bragging about no fucking paper on the internet. Your thoughts?
No, no. Yeah, you're right. I
Don't show your bank account. Don't show your bank statement, Wyatt. I don't think that would be wise for you and your family to show your statement to the public. What the F do they need to know that for?
Yeah, no, you're right. I would never do that.
Never.
But you know, here's the thing, man. I think if we can stop looking each other for dollar amount and see what each other's value is, like CK, every day that I wake up, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. One of the things I do my morning prayer every morning. Okay. A lot of people don't know that I'm not a Muslim, but I have a lot of Muslim. I do a lot of Muslim practices. Okay, in my own way, I've taken something from their blueprint and I've incorporated it into what I do every day. So
with Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, or you left him behind with your Muslim tactics, or you still with him?
I pray to my God. Okay, and I'm just being honest with you. I'd rather not get into religion, because it could be a long, drawn out conversation.
Oh no, I see what you're saying, but you're saying you got aspects of both intertwined, Christian and Muslim aspects of your beliefs.
I do. And
yeah, that's cool. That's respectable. I like that.
Well, here's my thing. Every day I ask God. I ask my God to let me be better than yesterday. And I ask God every day. This is going to sound crazy to some people. I ask God every day to put someone new into my life, whether it's someone that adds value to me or someone that I add value to them. But at the bottom line is value. Whether I'm giving it to someone or I'm getting it from someone, value is the most important thing to me. I don't want people in my life that drain me when it come down to adding value to, taking value from me. And I don't want to drain anybody when I'm getting value from them. You see what I'm saying? It's just one of them things. It's just one of them things, bro, that, I've learned on my own that you become a much better person to people when they value you. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean money. It could mean resources. It could mean different ways of thinking. It could be a perspective of seeing things totally different than they've always seen it before. And I believe, quite honestly, CK, that's why God blessed me to be in the position that I'm in now. Because I'm able to, if this makes any sense at all, I can afford to be here to talk to you today. See what I'm saying?
There it is. That's the same one. That's the same God. It ain't like they be like, oh, that's my God. No, it's the same one. It's the same one, but like you said, you have Muslim aspects and Christian aspects. That's respectful, because I don't respect a man that worship Christian and then goes to the penitentiary and turn Muslim. That's blasphemy, sir. And it looks like you're joining a gang for protection. I don't like that. Well, but I can respect a guy like you who's been free, who's living legal. I can respect you at bringing this. Now I can listen and believe what you're saying. But I can't believe a guy that gets incarcerated and changes, sir.
But wait. I believe in brothers who can go off. Now, don't get it twisted. I know exactly what you're saying. I had a dude that went home. He went to the joint and he left. He was a wolf. He was a monster. you hear me? He wasn't.
I love him.
No, he wasn't shit, bro. He went off.
Oh, you a Muslim now?
This dude,
gay.
He the type that'll steal your shit and wear it right in front of you. He was nasty like that, right? But he
Okay.
went off to jail. And when he got to jail, he became a Muslim in jail, right? And then when he came home, he went back to being the dirty, nasty dog that he was. So I know what you're saying. But
Oh,
now,
he did it just for the time. He was Muslim for the time being.
for the shit, look, this is a dude that did so much crazy shit on the street that he had to have protection when he got in. I mean, you know
But
what I'm saying?
but that's not equivalent to giving up your manhood, right? You're just doing a little undercover brother right there. You ain't giving up your manhood. I'd rather do that. Fake
Oh,
it.
you know
Because I'm
what?
gonna fake it to make it in a religion.
I'm gonna
But
be,
I'm not gonna fake my sexuality out. Nah, I'm gonna
bruh,
die for that.
bruh. This one right here, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never been to the joint, so knowing how a man is moving in the joint has never been something that I knew of, unless I seen him. Look, there's a guy that grew up on Baltimore Avenue. Him and I didn't see eye to eye a lot. I knew he had some bitch in him. Like I'm talking about, like he did bitch shit out on the out here, and I just didn't
Okay.
like him. He was under like backdoor type of dude, and and he went off to the joint. I didn't even know he was gone. One day I went over to my
Mm.
mother-in-law house. She lived on Baltimore. One day I went over there. They was talking about this guy was home. Oh, what's his name? He come. And he was outside sitting on the porch with his shirt turned all up. And he had got, I can't say he got turned out in the joint. I just think he went to the joint and became who he always was, to be
Oh,
honest
you
with you.
seen it? You seen it before he even was incarcerated. You said, "Oh,
Yeah, man.
you were already
Well,
there.
it was the shit that
You just need them to bring it out of you when you
nah,
go home to the joint."
no. What I'm saying to you, what I seen in him had nothing to do with his sexuality. I'm talking about how
Okay.
he was moving, how he was doing things backdoor, how he
Snake.
was
He was a snake.
snake in the grass type of a dude. And I'll be like, man, this dude burning the candle from both ends. He on one side for a minute. He running with like it, the type of dude that'll set a crap game up and then go rob it. Like he'll get the dice and set the
Woo!
crap game up for them to bring their money, and then he'll go rob it. See, them the type of
Very
dudes
dangerous. Very
that
dangerous.
dangerous and backdoorish and all that type of shit. And I seen guys like that, but this particular dude went off to the joint and he came home a girl. Now I'm telling you this: you can't do that to a heterosexual man. If a
Hmm.
man go to the joint, CK, and he's raped, that don't make him a homosexual.
But he's done. His life is over at that point. No man can rebound for such a tragedy.
Well,
I know
I
you
don't
agree with
know.
that.
I don't know. I think that it's
No,
trauma.
man, because like if you, because look, we get married. You have to share your secret. So if you share that with your wife, whenever you get in an argument with her, yeah, you wasn't saying that when that nigga was raping your
See,
ass in
you
that
see
jail
that
cell.
something,
That's why you would never be able to say that, share that with anyone.
brother. Some things you just gotta keep to your damn. You know what I mean? You gotta
That's
keep
what's
shit to your
gonna
damn.
happen. I'm trying to tell you.
I don't
So your
know.
life is over. So when you fucking up your marriage, that's why you fucking it up, because your ass got violated and your manhood was taken. You
Okay.
can't. How you gonna get your manhood is only once. It lives, and then if it's taken, it's gone. So you have to die. I would tell a kid, you must die to protect your manhood. As a
Well,
man, I
I
know
don't know.
children can't protect themselves, but as a man, yeah, you got to be. Wouldn't you tell a man that?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
You got nothing else to live for. That's everything. You a manhood. That's what you are. That's your DNA, man.
I don't
So
know.
once you're violated, sir, that's the reason how you keep these people out of prison. You tell them you cannot. That's a violation no man can take.
Yeah.
Women can rebound that because they're mothers, they're strong, they're nurturers. We are men. Once you take the manhood from us, boom. That's why America is so torn down,
I
because
don't, bro.
of
You
the
so
Catholic
all over the
priests.
place. What? Okay. All right, bro. I got you. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's how you
Anything
do it.
else, bro?
That's how you do it. You
You
got to
put
make sure
America
you
in
hit the
there.
kids with the truth and tell them nothing but the truth. Like I said, put God first, have faith in the youth. Education is the only way to the truth. You never defer. So now that I'm getting y'all attention, y'all see, I have the teachings for the people. You just be a man at all times. It ain't no special effects. Put it like that. Ain't no straight up and down. It is what it is, Jack.
Yeah.
Pay this damn rent, pay your mortgage, get out of my face. Don't commit no crime. If you go to jail, you know it's hell. You know what I'm saying? If you rob and dice games, you know what come with that. You're gonna get your head blowed off. In this Cincinnati, baby, it will happen. Keep robbing them dice game. I bet you won't make it through that past 3. Wyatt will tell you that because he know more about it than me. You is not about to survive robbing dice games. Am I right?
It's tough once they know.
Thank you.
I mean, it's tough, but yeah,
That-
some guys did it. But
That's
all
all
right,
I
CK,
wanted
what
to
else you got, bro?
Hey, long as we got through to the public, man, you have a good one, man. Hey, I'm gonna listen to the platform.
Okay, brother. I appreciate you coming,
Yeah.
engaging with us today.
Yes, sir.
All
Prayers.
Okay. He ended it with prayers. All right, I'll get us back on track here. I think what I was saying is public school. I just think that I need my kid. I'm like, how do I go straight into something different? I need my kids to be in an environment where it's all about what we're working towards. I was talking about before CK came on, I was talking about public schools, and I don't blame public schools for the lack of kids that are there for the right thing. See, public schools, parents get in trouble if their kids don't go to school. The truancy laws fall back on parents. So what I'm confused about is if you can get in trouble for your kid not going to school, why can't you get in trouble for what a kid does in school? Or why can't you get in trouble if your kid doesn't go to school, but yet what they do outside of school, like run playgrounds and shoot at playgrounds and stuff like that? Why aren't parents held accountable for kids' actions? And only criminal this applies to. If my daughter is 16, 17 years old driving my car, she's on my insurance. They're not going to file a lawsuit against my daughter who's on the insurance card. They're going to file that lawsuit against me. They're going to file that claim against me. And I don't understand how, as long as we allow bad behavior to be in a position where I don't like to use the word rewarded, because I don't think SNAP is a reward. I don't think that Section 8 is a reward. I don't think that certain conditions that come along with being in limited, income and limited money, limited, housing and being in environments, that's not a reward. But it is, it's not a reward. It is a I don't even want to say a fix for the problem. But I remember growing up, and I remember, and I'm not gonna put no names on it. I got a couple girls' names right on top of my head that I could put this point on. I remember back in the day when I would see girls getting pregnant in my neighborhood, and they would say, such and such about to get another check. Such and such money about to go up on her food stamps about to go up. Such and such about to get a bigger apartment. I would hear shit like it was a come up. Like she about to go get her a 2-bedroom. The fuck you in Laura Homes? A 2-bedroom in Laura Homes is not luxurious. And it was 4 of us living in a 2-bedroom where it was, it was 4 of us living in a 2-bedroom in Laura Homes. And I just think it's gone all the way back to I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about that shit. I didn't had enough of that shit today. Brenda Harris, you know what I'm talking about? She said it's a trap. Of course it's a trap. Why don't we start calling it what it really is? Like, yeah, Brenda, you know how it was growing up, sis. You know how people would, and I'm not gonna say women, because here's the problem that I have with this shit. If the woman is having 2-3 babies before she's 21, why aren't these guys going through the same thing the women going through? How do you tell a 16 or a 17-year-old that they now have to pay child support, but they in high school? Are they a dropout of high school? And now y'all want to go to the little boy's mama and daddy or mother or whatever and make that mother pay child support for a 16-year-old son. When I learned that shit was a thing, I was like, whoa. I know where the disconnect is. I just don't know how to solve the problem. And to solve the problem it's easier said, obviously, than done. You know what I'm saying? We just need to keep our little girls away from our little boys. And we need to stop all this dumb shit of having kids out of wedlock. We got to have more fathers in the homes. All that shit is very basic. It works. Trust me. There's plenty of people that do it. But how do you do that without sounding the alarm of self-accountability? We got to look at ourselves. We got to do this. We got to do that. How do you do that without pissing off all of the trolls and pissing off all the people who think that, you sound like an elitist and all? How do you do that? How do you fix a problem that if you fix the problem, our whole world changes? How we do things, how we see things, how we're perceived, how we achieve things, how far we go, everything changes. Let me go to the phone lines. Maybe someone has the answer for that. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with? Hello, caller. Let me try this again. Hello, caller. You there? Hold on. Caller, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, I can now. Sorry about that, caller. It might have been on my end. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad, bro. I think I hit the button and I think I hit it twice by accident. No, is this Ron?
Yeah.
Oh, I did that shit on purpose. I knew it was you. Just playing around.
Yes, you did.
What's up, brother? What's going on with you, man? Happy New Year.
Yeah, sure. It's the New Year is on April 1st, but I take that. Happy New Year.
April 1st is your New Year. Okay, all right.
I'm sorry. So, they have an implant that go under the woman's arm that keep them from getting pregnant. And it's a trip that, they'll, give you vaccines and require you to take vaccines and, all that. But they won't issue, that simple mandate. It's simple. But
Wait a minute. What's simple? You mean how to keep our young ladies from being pregnant?
From getting pregnant,
Okay.
At an early age.
Okay, I got you.
And of course, I bet you they got a lot better stuff than that implant now. But anyway, so the post that was posted on my Ron Omega page, and that's why Twin seen it and you seen it and a couple people seen it. I post on TikTok.
Okay.
When I post on TikTok, it automatically comes to my Ron Omega page or that Ron Omega page.
Okay.
And then my Instagram. So that's where I post. So now I posted that. Now I didn't know that that comment was there because I was just recording. But I recorded it. And first of all, let me say, Twin can take care of herself.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. But it just, it gets so frustrating. It just gets so frustrating. And then that, he an easy target. And Twin, I'm not, trying to, throw no shade on you. But because he don't know certain things, they'll twist him up. And, you know, it's, you know, I recorded that because I wanted to see what people said on TikTok. And I knew that though, you know, when I posted on TikTok, it goes to those pages. And I have certain people on those pages that I want to see. That's why ain't nobody, you know, I got, you know, 2 Ron Omega pages. I got 2, I got different, a couple different pages. I keep them for algorithms, and I keep them for, you know, when I want certain people to see certain things, you know, when I'm talking to certain people.
Okay.
You know, because I can't talk to them, you know, hold a, you know, conversation. Because like you said, they'll listen to you, and they listen now, you know, they'll listen, but they won't engage. And if they engage, they won't get engaged fair. So I want you to, want people to notice something. You know, David Whitehead called in today. Now, first of all, again, that was on the Ron Omega page. So I know certain people seen it. And you know, you can see when certain people hit your page and stuff, you know. So I posted that. And David Whitehead called earlier this morning to Lincoln Ware show. And this is gonna lead somewhere. And you're gonna understand exactly why Cincinnati run the way it run. Okay, so like I said, I posted that, and I posted a couple other things. And when David Whitehead called the radio station this morning, you know, normally he'll just sit there and take off on Trump, and you know, he'll speak that he say he nonpartisan because, you know, the NAACP supposed to be a nonpartisan agency. But you can't mess around and talk about how Trump is destroying everything and da 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 da. That's subliminal, and it's deceiving the people. That's half talking. That's double speak. They use a lot of that. So he called, and I noticed that he didn't get out like he wanted to get out, or like he would typically get out. And I'm thinking, hey, he probably didn't get out because he don't want, me to screen record that stuff and him take that that nonpartisan sticker, quote unquote, and that be proved wrong. Now, the problem is, when the election happened, 2 things. Stefan, he don't have, we all know, we on town. He don't have the most eloquent speech and all that stuff. We all, we've been through the election. But Stefan said something, and, they started to play that, I'm gonna do my best. That's insulting to me, and I know it's insulting to him. But he don't say nothing. He can let it ride off his back. I'm in awe of you and him and how patient you can be when somebody, sitting there digging at you, and you want to just, I know you want to, tear off in them, but you don't. And and I admire that. And I'm trying to reach there. But anyway, they was saying, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best.
Ron,
again,
Ron, on that
what's
note,
that?
That patience, I don't want to give too much credit to that patience. There's more to it than just patience. There's this thing called
Yeah.
you know, like if I really go in on one of them, then I'm gonna be the bad guy. You know that, right? So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know that plays
Sort
a
of like
part in
me.
it. That play a part in it as well. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's all patience. Some of it is I kind of know that if I tell the truth about certain people and certain things, you know, they don't have a problem mocking Stefan or mocking you. But if you say some shit about them, oh yeah, the whole their people would definitely have a problem with you. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to freeze that out too. But you know, they do that, and people would standoffish because they would do that to him when he was running. And of course, Brett probably done tag Lincoln into it. So I'm gonna sit there and finish what I'm saying and cook a little bit.
You lost me a
So
little bit. You lost me.
I'm sorry. No, it wasn't nothing.
Okay.
But now they did that, and because Stefan was getting a little momentum. They couldn't change the system. They couldn't change the system. Like I said, if the NAACP is nonpartisan, then it was no way in hell that David Whitehead should have came on and said that Lakita Cole should watch who she affiliate with, which he was talking about the Democratic ticket, which he was saying she needs to be on that ticket and not, stand where she was in order to get elected. That's city. That's city. And Lincoln Ware was a part of that. And he the man of power. Yeah, he is. He is. He is. He got power over these people. He didn't want Twin to be the turkey of the year. He wanted me to be he said he wasn't, and I'm telling you, it's significant. So he didn't want Twin to be the turkey of the year. He wanted me to be the turkey of the year. That's why he panicked and started. He had somebody call like they do all the time, nominate me, and then they didn't take off on me. They still took off on Twin. That's because they take off on Twin like that all the time. That's the man of power. Said that about Twin all year long. Now, the thing about that is, those cameras should have been there, but they don't have to do that because they're not required to do that. They don't care. If they care, they would have been there when the first 11-year-old got shot.
We're talking about the park shooting now.
Yeah, and it's mobile cameras. It's mobile cameras, and they could have sent one of those mobile cameras in there. Cheap. But they don't care because they want to push all of those Black residents out. Because they got plans. They got plans.
Well, Ron,
for
can I say something about that though?
Yes.
It don't take much of a plan to kick people out of an area that they don't.
No, but
did you hear me?
It takes finesse. If you don't want to take, if you don't want to take and rile the people up, just like they did with the seniors. Didn't know if the seniors at that apartment building that they got the vouchers for, if those seniors wouldn't have said nothing, we wouldn't know.
Where did those seniors come from? Was it a bunch of different communities, or they pretty much got them out of Stanley Row, or
they got them out? They got them out the community. They pretty much handpicked them people to go over there.
Well, but those people could have come from 4 or 5 different communities in the city. Not all of those communities.
But
not all those.
It don't make a difference.
Well,
it don't make a difference.
I think if you're trying to make a point of gentrification,
the thing about it is, and I'll challenge you this, and I'll challenge everybody this. Okay. You know, Julie was on, and they was talking about civil rights, and they was violating constitutional rights. You can't. And I made a comment that, you know, everybody allowed them to violate my civil rights. Look, everybody seen, everybody saw. They teased me. Oh, that white girl get it. Yo, that white girl. But they consciously, they violated my civil and constitutional rights. And they wouldn't do the black people, that tease twin and all that other shit. They didn't do nothing but laugh. But, you know, that bullet ain't, it didn't have Queen's name on it. It didn't have Queen's name on it. Yeah, I interfere with somebody doing something that I didn't want them to do. I protected my brother, even if nobody else was going to do it. I was going to do it because that's how I am. That's how I am. But ain't nobody say nothing. And that's why I got so mad at LaDonna. And I apologize, LaDonna, again. But that's why I was so hurt. Because those black, you know, those black leaders will send you down a rabbit hole that don't lead to nowhere. And they've been doing it. It's obvious. And then they was willing to advocate for people that was beat people down in the street. They was willing to advocate for them, all those people. And they didn't say nothing about me. I mean, I know they consider me a Trumpster. I know they don't like me. I know that I have a strong voice, and because I won't use my voice for their platform, I know they mad. I know, but I'm still a black man. And not only did they do this summer, not only did they do that with this summer, they did that with my back. And I told you, I'm sitting here with 6 screws that are unfused in my back. They let those people, those white folk, do that to me. They let them block me from getting an attorney. They let them do that. Just like they let them violate my rights this summer. And nobody said nothing because everybody, you want to be a part of the group. And the group ain't giving you shit. The group doing this, then this motherfucker gonna try to say you gonna have an employment tax in the city to keep us safe.
Okay, I see where
you're
at with it.
Fuck out of you know what? I'm so understand this. All the time that you had your show, I've been fighting you. I've been fighting these white folk. And I've been fighting the black folk more than I've been fighting the white folk. And like you say, it's all of y'all leaders. All of they leaders. Because I know it ain't y'all, you not considered them, you know what I'm saying. But they are all your leaders. And I am just a fragment of the community, but I'm the community. I'm still a black man. You know, and you know, yeah, you know, y'all ain't got no sense because, you know, I told people, you know, I didn't vote for Trump, but he was the best that we got. And it was our only opportunity to come up. And if you don't see, no, not if you don't see, your leaders fucking around and telling you not to see. They had to have, and I know you don't know who it is, Wyatt. I said they know who it is. They had to have Joyce. Joyce called up. Joyce can't stand Trump. But Joyce called up and told y'all how to take advantage of the things that Trump is doing for y'all. You idiots. No, I'm sorry. Take that back. I'm so angry because I've been fighting that fight for a long, long time. For a long time. And I fight it by myself. I talked to her. I was today. She didn't call me back, but, you know, I'm telling you, I've been fighting for what, 7 years, 8 years? I gave up that fight and then messed around and got a new fight. And consequently, I'm in the same position I was in before. Won't nobody in the community stand up for me. They'll turn their back because they want to be a part of the group. They don't want to get what Twin getting. But I'm gonna tell you, yo, you can't hold a candle to Twin because you can't stand up. You can't stand up.
Ron, can I say something?
Can I? And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get out of here.
I want you to hear this. I want you to hear
I'm
this.
just saying.
I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this. I hear you. I mean, I don't know what happened to you on the square or, you know, that situation, but I hear you, bro. I hear you loud and clear. People confused and dazed and all that old shit, but I didn't put the pieces to the puzzle together, okay?
Man, that shit
wait a minute, Ron. I hear you.
Ooh,
let me tell you how. Let me tell you why I hear you. Ron, hold on, bro. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second, bro. Let me tell you why I hear you. And a lot of people don't hear you because I hear you. Let me tell you why I hear you. Ron, do you know that the Russian today, went on trial in a misdemeanor?
Yeah.
I hear you, Ron. Let me tell you how. See, this is gonna not. Some people that don't want to hear you ain't gonna understand where I'm coming from. When was the last time anybody on this platform ever been in a 1 or a 2 or a 3-day hearing on a misdemeanor charge? Why was it so important for that Russian to be charged
Jesus.
in that fight by your community leaders? And he's about to get paid because of what sometimes you can cut your own throat. You know, you can drive yourself off of a cliff and not even realize it because people are so ignorant and so, I'll use your word, stupid, to be part of something that they don't even know they suffocating or they choking off their own spit. Now, what y'all really just did is y'all allowed this Russian dude, I'll call him what y'all call him, just for argument's sake. You allowed this Russian dude to utilize our courts, where Cincinnati will turn around and compensate this man in a civil case. He's going to sue the city of Cincinnati because of the charges, a misdemeanor charge that was somewhat forced on him by the courts.
I know.
And what's going to happen is you got another thing to bitch about, but it's a self-inflicting wound. You created this bitching thing. You created this situation. You created charges for him to go, for them to, a misdemeanor. What was ever going to happen to this man? This is like a jaywalk. Hold on. This is like a jaywalking ticket. And it was
Why?
so.
I had the same charge.
I know. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. I'm trying to help you.
Go ahead.
This charge, no jail time, maybe a fine, but he is going to gain so much more because of what you all created. And I blame your leaders. Let me tell you why I blame your leaders. Because your leaders had the proper information. They had the resources to go get the tape that's going to be used by the prosecution, but they didn't do that. They wanted to massage you. They wanted you to feel like they were working for you. So they didn't care. If it was coming out of their pocket, their asses would have never came up with these charges. They would have never took this shit to a misdemeanor court because they know the lawsuit is right behind it. You understand what I'm saying? And if it would have came out of, if they would have been getting sued personally, and you know that happens. You know, you can sue an elected official personally. You can also sue a police officer personally. You can sue certain people that have certain jobs that work in the clerk of courts and all that. You can sue them. You can sue them personally. And the attitude and how they handle and how they do their job is totally different when you file a lawsuit against them or you threaten a lawsuit against them. So if these city council people who pressured the prosecutor or the city prosecutor to go down there and press them charges, if they ass would have been on the line like these tax dollars asses is about to be on the line, they probably would have never done this. So Ron, when I say I hear you because I hate to say this to you, brother, but your situation is not valuable to them. It don't get them votes. It don't get them power to the people. It don't get them none of that shit. So what those who don't understand what Ron's frustrations are, I'm not saying that you 100% right, Ron. I'm not saying that. I think there's some issues and a whole lot of this stuff, okay? But at the same time, I understand your frustrations because, wait a minute, you talk about liberties and rights and all of that, but what happened to mine? And why weren't you there for me when I had this same situation? You let a white Russian, so to speak, slap a black man in his face, and y'all went through hell and high water to make sure that man got charged. But when I tell you a little white girl slapped me, it's I'm gonna do my best, and all this mocking shit comes behind.
And it's a trend.
I get it.
It was a group of teens.
Well, what I'm saying to you, Ron, is
and I don't want to say that, but can I say something?
Sure.
Now it's a trip because they won't even release the videotape to me. They said I got to get a lawyer, or I got to get the detective got to release it to me. And of course, the detective won't call me back or none of that. But my thing is, it's not about me. It's about this city and how this city runs. And we gotta be smarter than that. We gotta be smarter than that. And the majority of people was flabbergasted when the whole Democratic slate that was running won, and we didn't have a change in council.
Well,
no change.
People will never admit. I mean, you have to really look. I'm not all that in depth on how that works, but I was taught in a short period of time here recently how that actually works. Stefan Pryor, who I know personally, I've known him for a while, a long time. I called him the day before election and wished him all the best, and we had a long conversation. Matter of fact, we talked about some things that he's talking about now, and I find him to be very interesting in what he does and blah blah blah, right? And I told him, I hope you win. I knew deep down inside he wasn't part of the circle, and I knew he wasn't going to win. I shouldn't say that I knew he wasn't going to win, but I tried to talk it up with him. I called him and I said, Councilman, I did everything you possibly could to keep him encouraged, keep his fight going, the whole nine. But the fact that he was not endorsed by the Democrat Party, the fact that he didn't have the same there are white dudes on your city council, bro. I can guarantee you if they was walking down the street, you wouldn't even know they was on city council. But you know who Stefan Pryor is.
Who?
No, I'm saying in the community. They could walk down the community. They
Shit,
can walk.
I know.
No, I know you do. But I'm talking about in general, the people in the community that have their the leaders that they have. They know who Stefan Pryor is, but they don't know who the damn city council members are that don't look that look like them. You know what I'm saying? That don't look like us. And it puzzles me that even on my platform, somebody came on here and told me that when the Democratic Party endorses that slate, chances are that entire slate is going to win that way. And I told them right here on this platform, that don't sound like democracy to me. It don't sound like democracy to me when you have a slate of people that's probably going to win because the party backs them versus what if an independent, what if a Democrat or an independent that leans Democrat like a Stefan Pryor? What if that's a person, or Tamika, what's the one girl name who used to be on city council? These, if you notice, the black folks who used to, not her,
can I respond to something real quick?
Not her, the other one, the light-skinned lady who used to be on city council.
Lakita
Coles. What about, why didn't they get elected? How did it?
Because David Whitehead told you. The head of the NAACP told you. He said she needed to watch herself and who she aligned herself with.
Right, and if I'm not mistaken, hold on. If I'm not mistaken,
and Preston, you full of shit,
Ron.
I can't help. Preston, you full of shit.
Don't worry about that.
If you seen the video, how the fuck I ain't seen it?
Well, here let's stick to
you are op.
Let's stick to what we.
That's the epitome of an op.
Let's stick to what
we. And that's the epitome of what I'm saying. If Preston didn't interact with you earlier, Wyatt, and see, that's what I'm saying. They watch.
Well, I don't know who Preston is, but Preston's been here.
Oh, I don't even want to say it. You lucky. I told somebody I was trying.
Well, here's the thing, Ron. I think the reason why here listen, Ron, listen. I think the reason why this platform exists is I don't really want to have conversations from what's going on other platforms. I really don't. But I understand some of y'all are so engaged over there that you think that you're gonna solve your problem with them over here, and it's never gonna happen.
I was just having or making an example when I was incorporating all of them because I was saying what Cincinnati is right now.
Well, here's what I would do for people that like to call this program and want to utilize this program for what they do. I would use it for getting your message out for how you want to see it, and not so much how other people see it other places, because their mind is already made up about what's going on with you. So
when they come over here, and like you said, when they come over here, to your platform, I wanted to not only hear. I say this, Ron. I wish they would. It is what it is.
Wait a minute, hold on, Ron. I'll say this. There's been a few people that have sent people over here thinking that person was going to shut me down, but they probably then found out that the people that they go get probably ain't who they think they are. So it hasn't happened yet. But what I would like to do is I open my conversation up to whoever calls. If you want to call and you want to talk about some of the things somewhere else, I always welcome it. I don't really care to do it, but there are certain people that carry certain agendas that I would love to have a conversation with, if you understand what I'm saying, because there's no way I'm ever going to prove them wrong. There's no way that whatever I'm going to say is going to be logical to them, because that's the whole disconnect, is the logic in how you see things. So I don't really need to have those conversations. That's why I don't go over and get in the chats and all that. I would rather have a conversation with you, Ron, and say, I'm here. I hear you, bro. And the reason why I hear you is because I can connect dots to situations outside of yours, that connect to exactly to what you're saying.
Oh,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if we don't connect the dots collectively, we can't change. We can't change as a people, and we can change as an individual. But it's like when people get money, when they get a whole lot of money, and they still, feel empty, like stars and shit. They take all them drugs, the escape, and
I don't understand the analogy. Help me out. I want to understand.
We have to come up collectively. It's not just, we can.
No, we don't, Ron.
No, we don't. I know we can.
Let me tell you what's wrong with us. Let me tell you.
But I'm saying,
hold on, Ron.
if we're not helping our people,
Ron, I got to tell you something.
If we're not helping our people,
Ron,
then and that's just me. It's just me.
Ron,
no, just wait. If and it's just me.
Okay.
It's just like, well, it's just me. And my thing is, I can't. It's like Marines say, no man left behind. Man, if y'all only knew how I've tried to leave no man behind.
And that's your problem.
And successfully.
And that's your
problem. And yeah, that's my problem, because it crushes me.
Yep.
That's
your problem.
I got you.
Because you know what? You never see, show me a platform in the city of Cincinnati that Jewish people talk about or Asian people talk about, and are their problems the same as ours? Do you ever hear them talking about, I'm going to bring Julio up with me, I'm about to bring Salih Lee up with me? They don't do that. It's only in our community that we bust our ass and break our back trying to bring somebody with us that ain't really ready to come with you. Bruh, you too busy trying to bring somebody you trying to save people that don't want to be saved. They okay being, it's almost like a pig being in mud. You sitting back thinking how dirty this pig is, and why would you want to be in that nasty ass mud? And that pig is on vacation in that mud. That pig is loving every aspect of that mud, and they love the stinkiest the most. The deeper the mud, the more fun they have.
Man, okay, now
I know you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but okay, everybody know me as Ron D. Everybody knew me as just Ron D. And one day Lincoln Ware read a message, and this is the tie into what you're saying. Lincoln Ware read a email that I sent him. And the email, it was like, you my nigga, I'm cool with you, but you gonna retire soon, and you ain't gotta be obligated to these people right now. We need you right now. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what it was. Now, this is during COVID years. This is 2020. Now, I employed four people at $25 an hour. And That was the starting point of the what I had. But I had a nonprofit sitting to the side that was funding the nonprofit with my transition care business. Now, look at where, blatantly. Look at what Ronald Dula said. Da, 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 da. Ronald Dula said, oh, Ronald, and he made an emphasis to pronounce my name. And I told him, I called him up and I told him, I said, why would you do that? Because it's the Trump years. It's the Trump years. Why would you do that? Because I employ black folk. Why would you do that? Because the significance of it is, I ain't get no black people in the city, in the tri-state area. Now, you got to remember, I started out in the COVID years and I had a stroke. Now, I was successful with white folk, but black folk wouldn't fuck with me. Black folk wouldn't fuck, cause now you know why black folk wouldn't fuck with me in the city, right? Right? Because I was a Trumpster.
That'll do it.
And boy, but see, that's how black folk do you. You man, you get bored love.
All right, hey,
Yeah,
I got
I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you, y'all got to do better. hey, and yo, girl animal ass suit.
Uh-huh.
I said yo, girl animal ass suit.
Girl animal.
Need
I open this? It don't have a.
Hey man. Hey, you've been putting it on, man.
It don't have an animal inside. It don't have a fuzzy bear inside.
Hey man, you've been putting it on, boy. Yo,
well, I come from the office.
I'm jealous. I
come from the office. I don't jump in the shower and take a shower and come in with my sweatshirts and stuff on anymore. I come straight from the office.
I'm gonna let you go, man.
Okay, bro. I appreciate you. Thanks for engaging with us, Ron.
All right, man. Thank you for letting me vent.
No problem, bro. Wyatt Live. Where else can you vent? Talk about 16 different things, all in one voice, all in one breath. And nobody really know what the fuck is going on. Where else can you do that for 20 minutes? Wow. I understand where Ron is coming from, though. I don't want to make it light. I get it. Look, let me just say this. Love me or hate me, let me just tell you the truth about something. I pay attention to how leadership runs cities. That determines how well, it's going to sound dumb because it's going to be like, no shit, Sherlock. That determines how well a city is going. Like what do they actually value? Do they value equity? Do they value the people having equity? Do they value how people feel about them? I'm gonna say something right now, bro. What's the one lady's name? Somebody put it in the screen that they talk so bad about. It's the black lady that wear all the pink on Cincinnati City Council. Talked about her like a dog. She allowed the position of black folks to be knocked down as far as the majority on city council. She was in with the other guys that's running in these circles. Mika Owens, I believe it is. Y'all didn't said all that shit about Mika Owens. I didn't heard rumbles and all this stuff. I don't know if she's a good person, bad. She's never said anything that sound crazy to me, quite frankly. Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Dina. I don't know. Thanks, Denise. I don't know. All right. But let me just say this to you. The simple fact that she won her re-election, regardless of all that pro-black shit and how she was going against the grain of losing the majority of the black, all that shit she had going against her, the people that were talking against her, it didn't matter. It didn't matter that some thought she was a traitor and they were saying don't vote for her, and then they start bringing up all these different stories about her personal and who she dealing with. Now, I heard it all. And I said to myself, it don't matter. She's part of that one circle. It tells me all I need to know. Now, let me ask y'all something, because I really don't know. I'm going off of memory, and I think I know the answer to this, but I'm not sure. Mika Owens wasn't one of those that stood up about that riot shit, now was she? She wasn't one of them that stood up and said, we need to see some justice in all of this. We need to, the Russian dude needs to be arrested some way, some form, somehow, some kind of way. She kind of took the same stance that the mayor took, right? And the white folk, how many of the white people came out and that's on city council and made a demand that the Russian get arrested for that situation down at the little park, the bar down there, the brawl they call it? How many? I pay attention. I pay attention. I pay attention. I pay attention to those that want to be loved versus those that's really trying to get the work done. I pay attention. I pay attention. I paid attention to the city council members that stood up at a podium and screamed to the top of their lungs or whatever. They stressed to you all, we need action. We need this, we need that, but wouldn't come out with real information of what the prosecutor had. It took 2 weeks for the prosecutor to go in on another bond hearing and the prosecutor tell the judge, Judge Triggs, right on television or right on stream or wherever it was, Your Honor, the videos that the public have seen are not the videos that we're going to use in court. Now, y'all know I said that shit for months before that even got to that point. But I seen leaders who know better, especially leaders that have background in law enforcement, and some that are lawyers. They know better. But what was more important to them was not the truth, but the perception. That's the sign of a bad leader. To be honest with you, if it was somebody that you didn't know, which y'all really don't know them, but if you've seen somebody moving like that from a distance, you would tell everybody you know, I don't trust that motherfucker. But for some odd reason, you can't tell yourself that. Because I don't know if it's because of the affiliation with the party. I don't know how that shit go. But if that was somebody you seen moving amongst your family, you would tell your family, I don't trust that person right there. They ain't for the right thing. They just saying what we want to hear. They not really trying to, they not telling us, I don't trust that person. It always puzzles me how people who get the same results from the same people how they always expect something different from the same situation, the same people, the same. I hear this. I got to go back just a little bit. I'm getting out of here. I got to go. I hear people saying, how is your life better now? that Trump is in office. Let's just use their argument with Trump. They say, well, how's your life better now? My question to you is, how is your life better now with the leadership locally? I mean, you voted for better, right? You voted because somebody told you bad, like crime in your communities is not really happening. They bigging up the numbers. They just they're not there. Like, it's not really happening. Crime is going to happen no matter what. There's no gangs in the city. And you turn around and there's a proposed income. Y'all know why they didn't say property tax, right? Because it's more value. Now, y'all can say what you want to say, but go do the numbers because I've done it. There's more value in a tax hike if you take it out of income tax versus property tax. Black people in the city of Cincinnati can avoid to be taxed if you take it to property tax. But there ain't no way in hell Black people can avoid income tax. So if you work for $12 an hour down at that stadium, you're affected by that income tax. If you make $12 an hour working at that stadium and you live in metropolitan housing, you live in Winton Terrace, that tax don't affect you if it was property tax. So they went for the big bang. It would be different if it was one of them type of things where we're going to attach this to the property tax sale. Property tax, we'll do this on property taxes versus income. Income tax affects everybody in the city. It's a larger number than property tax. The pool is bigger. You'll have 1 million people paying 1 million people paying income tax towards this issue that don't exist. Wait a minute, you just told us that crime was not an issue in the city of Cincinnati. That don't mean anything to you guys. That don't ring an alarm. Nobody's really like puzzled about that shit. Like, I'm the only one over here looking crazy. Like, you just told us there's no crime, there's no issues. And you blame it on cameras. We need cameras and this and that. And you see money's been allocated for these issues already, and it's still not working. But now you're talking about proposing an income tax for crime. Tell the truth, it's not really for crime. It's really not for crime. It's really for poverty. It's really for poverty. And the reason why you're doing that is because there's programs in poverty. There's no fixing. There's patches. You patch up poverty. You don't fix poverty. Poverty is an easy fix. Dr. Odell Owens always told me. He always said it out loud. The key to ending poverty is education. That's the easiest fix in the world for poverty. And education don't mean a PhD from the University of Cincinnati. Education means trade school at Cincinnati State. It means going to auto mechanic school. It means being geared toward doing something productive in your city. So you have to go learn how to do it. That means taking a trade on. That means going to the University of Cincinnati and getting educated and get a background and getting in a field. And when you don't push that type of shit, then you're not nowhere near in the rims or in the stadium or in the field of trying to fix poverty. You fooling no one. Maybe the people that you're talking to, that low-hanging fruit. But for motherfuckers that really know what's going on here, you're not trying to fix poverty, because you would stop making poverty so damn livable. Poverty is livable. It might not be, they may not have 60 channels in their house like you do. But for some people, they learn to adjust to live off of poverty. Yeah, it's a regular thing. And then they reward it. I hate using that word. But like what we were talking about earlier, There's always remember I told you growing up, the girl had 3 kids before she turned 21, and the girls used to be like, oh, she about to get a 2-bedroom, and she about to get some more money on she about to get some more money on her food. She about to get some food stamps, and she gonna get a little bit more money. That used to be the talk. But for some odd reason, we won't have the conversation. We think programs end poverty. Let me tell you where poverty is ended. Like me, love me, hate me, whatever you want. Poverty ends when your mother and your father bring you home from the hospital. When you're in your crib, your baby crib, that's where poverty ends. Poverty ends there or it begins there. Think about that. See you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on Wyatt Live at 1 o'clock. I'm out.
Love me, love me, love me, love me, oh baby, love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, yeah, 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 oh baby, love me, oh love me, love me, love me, love me, yeah, 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 oh baby, love me, oh love me, love me, love me, oh baby, yeah, 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 once you said you love me. Swear you're gonna love me, give you a little honey, make you spend a little money. You don't need it anyway, no, not for nothing. You know I'ma keep it coming, I'ma keep this party running. You ain't even gotta say no.